Test. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hello, everybody. Just want to make sure everything's working before we start on our final flight of my Around the USA flights here. Let's get some music on and have some fun tonight. So, let's go with this one. All right. Working, but NVIDIA broadcast is not, so you can't hear a word I'm saying right now. All right. Can you hear me now? Let's double check. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You can. All right. So that fixed things, and we're good to go. We still have about 40 frames per second. Off my right, we have some people flying there. I am on Microsoft Flight Simulator, by the way, so feel free to fly with me. But I am looking for Ricky and seeing if he's with us. And I also have another friend from the University USA Flying Club joining us today as well. Just gonna let them know that I'm here. And anyways, we gotta get this thing started and get going here. So we have to fuel the plane up. I'm gonna turn the fuel on at this time too. 100%. Always fly full. We'll do real world weather, which I'm going to put in right now. And there are some clouds at 8,000 last time I checked. So even though we're going 8,500, we have to see. And it's injecting live weather. But we are going back to my real world home base of Plymouth, Massachusetts. And I have to show this on the last stream of my Around the USA flights. This is the route that we took. This whole route here. We left from Plymouth, went all the way down south, all around the perimeter of the United States since June. And now we're going from Bangor back to Plymouth, and that will complete this year's Around the USA flights. I did one last year like this too. So, all right. Sorry, just answering some questions there from Fricky, and we shall see what's going on here. But that must be my friend from the Virtue USA Flying Club. So again, we're just double checking with them, making sure they're good. Oh, he disappeared, so that must not be him. We also have to connect the VAT Sim, and Boston Center just went offline, so we're gonna make sure everything's good here. All right, connect. Good. I'm gonna follow my flight plan. Again, that's what we're doing right there. I said 12 o'clock, so we'll say 17:30. So we're not flying real world time again. but we are flying real world weather. So, flight plan filed. Cool. All right, let's get this thing started up, shall we? Full fuel and everything going to the checklist right now. Fuel's already on because again I turned it on, so used to in the pre-flight seeing that it's on and not touching that at all, but it's cool. Seat track back lock, avionics are off, autopilot's off, throttle 1/4 of an inch. Let's make sure my throttles are working here. They are. Good. What's up with that? Oh, that's I think still like that. There we go. All right, throttle 1/4 of an inch. Mixture full lean. Okay, brakes are set. Master on, beacon on. Fuel pump will be off. I don't know why it always turns it on. Still working on that. All right, fuel pump now on. Full rinse for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back out. Yeah, we're gonna try it, Melvin. Sorry, I didn't see your message right away. I've been all over the place with this, trying to get it just perfect. So, just did that, prime the engine with the pump, and what's going on that? I don't know. Oh, that was weird. All right, mixture full rich oil. Gotta start the plane. Duh. Okay, so without further ado, clear prop, and here we go. Be about 1,000. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oil pressure's in the green. Can you tell I'm excited about getting this stuff done? I am. Lights as required. Landing, nav, and taxi will turn on right now. Nav will act as the ADS-B. Heat vent defrost. Let's get a temperature check here right now in Bangor. It is 44 degrees, so I indeed will use some heat in the cabin. There we go. All right. Avionics are going on. Including the transponder. Beautiful. I gotta get the ATIS here. So we'll get to my flight log here. And ATIS is 127.75. Let me just double check that I have everything on here. Good. Because one time I forgot to put the desktop audio on, and man, that was a boring stream, let me tell you. But here we go with the ATIS from Bangor.
Bangor Airport information, Oscar 17000, Zulu. 125814. Visibility, niner. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 7. Dew point, 13. Altimeter, 29.74. ILS, runway 33 in use. Landing and departing runway 33.
Okay.
DSR, aircraft, say direction of flight. All aircraft read back all short instructions. Advise controller, on initial contact, you have Oscar.
Alright. Going to VATSIM Unicom. I'm going to double check on VATSIM here and make sure that we don't have anyone on. No, we do not, but it's giving me that error with the comm thing again. There we go. Oh no! It does that. I don't know why. It eventually does switch back.
Bangor Airport information, Oscar 17000, Zulu. 125814. Visibility, niner.
See, I still got 122.8. It doesn't want to do it.
Temperature, 7.
Oh boy.
13. Altimeter, 29.74. ILS, runway 33 in use.
Alright, do that, and then I'll switch it over again. There we go. And this is saying it's some other weather station, which I don't get it, but it does. Alright, so we have Oscar. The winds, I gotta be honest with you, for Rex Weather Force, it doesn't translate right here until you start moving. So the winds are 240 at 8. Broken at 7,500, so it's looking pretty good up there. And we find a hole, we'll get to 8,500. Bangor is Class Charlie, but on VATSIM, no one is staffing it. They just literally logged off before we start these flights. So I'm going to treat this as a non-towered airport, and we're going to go from there. So let's look for my friends here. I don't know if I see them or not. Wait, let's see. Who's over here? Nope. He might be all the way down there. But I'm about to take off here, so let me just give him a heads up. So, with that, got my chart here. We'll depart to the left to give us some clearance from that thing, but we are going to go down Juliet Alpha to runway 33, so we'll announce that. Bangor traffic says in Echo Foxtrot, that General Aviation Terminal taxiing the runway 33 via Juliet Alpha, Bangor. With that, test the brakes. They are good. We're going to the left. And I forgot to set my altimeter, which is 2974, but that doesn't really matter because when you have Rex weather force, it really doesn't put in the right pressure until you start moving. So it is what it is, you know. Okay. And take a right on the Juliet. I'm looking at this. Nope. Okay, I've got to take a left and go this way on Juliet. So here we go. Be nice if they had taxi signs, huh? Just thought. Like, you know, authentic ones where it actually had the right letter and everything. The rudder pedals are working great tonight. I don't know what I did, but that might not be the case for the whole flight, so we'll see. But Site Staff Melvin Leroy here. If you haven't checked out
Bangor
Melvin
traffic, November
Leroy at all,
2289 Zulu, taxi to
should
runway
check him out.
33 via Juliet. Bangor
He's got
traffic.
an awesome stream with a lot more variety than me. I mean, I've been doing these Run the USA flights now since June. But we do the Virtual USA Flying Club events as well. Okay, we're going to take a left turn to Alpha. And here we go. We're going to do a run-up down here, too. There looks to be on the airport diagram a run-up place down here, so we'll see if they have it in the sim. Hope I didn't forget anything. I don't think so. ADIS, altimeter, radio, test. I got test the radio. That's it. Unicom says 9 Echo Foxtrot. Radio check, please. No, that was my friend, by the way. But it's cool. Alright, so go back to my airport diagram. I'm sure it works because he tried to answer me, so. Alright, here is the run-up place. So we will go over here and do the run-up. They would probably not be taxi lights here in the real world, just to say, you know. Just a thought. Let's turn this around and do the run-up. That's one heck of an entrance to that runway, huh? That's not exactly real world. But all right, brakes are set. Fuel set to both. Trim set for takeoff. Let's see what else we got. Flight controls. Do the box. Looks good. Free and correct. All right. Annunciator lights. Looking good. Instruments, turn coordinates in the middle, no flag. Heading coordinates should be about 315. It is. Vertical speed looks good. Altimeter, just double checking, but I think it looks good. Yeah, it should be about 163, so that is correct. Alright, what else we got? Horizon looks good. Airspeed looks good. Mixture best power. Alright, 1800. We don't have to mess with the mixture right here. We're only at 163 MSL. Kind of like Plymouth, it's only 150 MSL where we're landing today. So 1800. Test the right magneto. Looks good. Back to both. Left. Back to both. Very good. Oil vacuum. It's in the green. Wow, it's actually in the green, everybody. Amps not charging like they should be, but that's what it always looks like. Oil pressure, oil temper in the green. Idling. Very good. Back to 1,000. There's Fricky, by the way. Right over there. There's my other friend, Zombie. That's what we'll call him. He's for right, because I don't know if this is his real name. And we're all going to take off to Plymouth. So, with that, we are good. If there's a problem on the takeoff roll, mechanical emergency or otherwise, and there's enough available runway ahead of us, we'll abort takeoff and land directly here on the runway. If we are under, let's say, 900 feet, there's a problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we'll land directly ahead of no more than 30-degree turns. Best glide speed would be 68 in the SP. If we are above 900 feet, there's a problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we will take a turn to the left and land downwind and taxiway the grass the runway. Whatever's available to us, best glide speed is 68. That way we're kind of going into the wind. Although, might want to do a right, but I don't know. We'll do left. Okay, with that, we're ready to go here. No one on downwind, no one on base. I painted my head around real life and checked that, but no one's on final or crosswind, so we're going to call it. And here we go. Bangor traffic, Cessna Foxtrot, departing runway 33, departure to the southwest. Bangor. And let's fly to the moon. That was so corny. I had to do it, though. Chat is open. Feel free to chat. I'm a little giddy tonight because we're going to finish my Around the USA flights tonight. Nice 2-hour and 16-minute flight. At least that's what I calculated. So, we'll see what's happening here. And this is a huge runway, by the way. So, I believe it's the same runway we
Bangor
landed at
traffic
2 nights ago.
Zulu departing runway 33 to the southwest behind the Cessna number 2. Bangor
Oh,
traffic.
good. All right. Glad he said number 2. That would be some gentlemen who are flying with me. Honored to have you, gentlemen. All right, with that, on the floor, rotate at 55, climb at 74. Here we go. Let's finish up this Around the USA flights. Oh, see, I talked too soon. My rudder stuck a little bit there. But it's better than before, so I'll go with it. Uh-oh, see, it wouldn't be right if we didn't have spams on my last one, so it's all good. We'll just block him and rotate. Sorry, it took me a little longer. Oh, great! And that too. Wouldn't be a... Would not be an Eric flight without having the VATSIM Unicom turn into some other type of radio broadcast, you know? So we'll just turn that down as much as we can. Go with it. You can almost not hear it. There you go. And that's what we're going to have to do, ladies and gentlemen, until we get out of here. So... Alright, we will take a turn to the left out of here. And then head on course. And we'll try to find a hole to punch through, but it's supposed to be clearer as we go south, at least the last weather reports I saw. Like that. But I hope everyone enjoys this flight, and I thank you for being here. This is a monumental occasion after flying since June around the United States. And finishing it tonight's going to feel really good. So let's just pray that nothing like happens, like simulator crashes or something like that. And should stop my stopwatch right about now. Flight log, our first checkpoint will be Monroe. It should be in about 16 minutes once we get on course here. Don't need the markers, good there. And we're going to take a turn to the left. We are clear on the left. Head 45 degrees out of here first, and then we'll take a left turn on course when we know that we're clear. Sometimes I get so geeky that when I do long flights like this, I see how much it would cost me in the real life to do them. We're not going to be doing any of that. We haven't been doing any of that during the Around the USA flights here, so just leave it the way it is. All right, looking towards my left. Looking pretty good.
Bangor traffic 2289 Zulu, clear of 33.
And we're going to take a left onto course. Bangor traffic, Cessna Foxtrot. We're going for a left downwind departure, departing to the southwest. Bangor. All right, let's also get a heading. I said 250 once I'm on course, so that's what we're going to be heading for. So we'll intercept at about 230. And once we're on course, we'll keep it there. Let's climb at 80, so I'm going to trim up until I'm at 80 knots and climbing. And that gives you enhanced cooling on the engine and better visibility over the nose instead of climbing at 74. And we're at 2,000 feet and climbing. Beautiful. All right, let's see where the gentlemen flying with me are. Ricky's back there. And we're going to have to really look at the zombie here because he's on VATSIM only with us. Got my strobes, put those on. There we go. We're on our way. Oh, time to play hockey. Well, enjoy. Well, I'm glad that you popped your head in. Thanks a lot, man. I know that you've been quite the supporter here, so. I used to play hockey. Kind of miss it sometimes. So, but good. I hope that you do well at hockey tonight. All right, 250. Now that we're on course, and that should hold us. We'll keep climbing at 80 knots here. Right about there. And we'll see if that holds true. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, you know. Okay, it's going to be a little bumpy in places, but it shouldn't be that bad. Goodbye, Bangor, Maine. And we are going to be overflying Sanford, Maine, and then we'll be direct course to Plymouth. We'll be flying over Boston class Bravo. We're going to lean out the mixture now that we're over 3,000. Right about there. And we'll keep climbing. Okay. All right. 250. Should probably go a little off track, but not much. So on our right would be the Penobscot River, I believe again. That is true. And we'll just keep climbing here. Definitely ways to poke holes, but we want to go at 8,500 so that way we can fly right over the class Bravo, because honestly in real life I would do that, and it gives you extra time to deal with problems as they arise. So I try not to fly through class Bravo. I never have, honestly, in real life, but I try not to unless I really have to. So, but flying over it, I've done it twice, and it is an awesome thing in real life. You get to see all the jets coming up through it and stuff. And even the first time I flew over, I went to Nashua, New Hampshire. They said, "Oh, do you want to send through the Bravo?" I was Boston, and I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm just gonna go right over, do all that." So. So it is what it is, but definitely getting more secure in the real world with that. Someday I will probably have to transverse the class Bravo. So I'm trying to get other airports. Our next world flight should be Saturday. We're going to take a night flight with some friends. They wanted to see the nighttime, and I'm already current with my night landings. So we're going to keep it local, again, because it is night flight, and I'm not going anywhere big. And I know the terrain and stuff, and as long as it's clear, we're going. Because visuals aren't as available at night. So I hope to also maybe land at Hyannis. That will make me land at every airport on Cape Cod except for one, and that would be Falmouth, which is kind of like lodged in with the class Delta of the Air National Guard base there. Is it Air National Guard? Can't remember. But that'd be a little trickier. Cape Cod Coast Guard Aviation Station, which is pretty much, you're not allowed in there without permission, so. Okay, let's turn on course again, because I'm deviating. We're looking pretty good tonight. And I kept it daytime so I can see everything. There's Fricky off my left wing. You'll see, I can't really see my friend, Zombie, there, but we shall see. Alright, keep climbing here, let's go. Got some strong winds up here. Ground speed of 76 knots. So it looks like, I mean, we're still climbing, but we are working against the wind just a little bit. Wind was from that makes sense then, 270 at 31 knots, winds aloft, that's what I calculated at least. Well, what I saw. It's a lot forecast. And Chad, my friend there, is off my left, so I'll tell him where I am. Here, where I am Fricky, again, is flying Microsoft Flight Simulator only. And Chad and I are flying hand in hand here on VATSIM. So that's where he is, and that's where I am. And we're going to be flying, again, to Sanford, Maine, somewhere around here, and then directly to Plymouth over the Class Bravo. So it should be a good flight. 6,000 feet climbing. Again, we're going to be careful with these clouds and a little wary of them. So, I can at least see his lights. It's kind of hard to see anything. We might deviate to the right a little bit, get above these clouds, or we'll stay below it at 6,500 if we have to. I haven't decided that yet, but we shall see. Again, the chat is open for anyone to chat. Feel free to, or just kick back, relax, and watch the last leg of the Around the USA flights. Of course, I didn't check Monroe at all, but Monroe will be coming up ahead of us. It's a small little town. So we'll have to check that out. But where are these clouds? We'll eventually get up above them. But I don't know. Maybe we should deviate to the right. Go above. You know what? We'll stay at 6,500. How's that? Make it easy. So I want to trim down. Gain some speed here. And if we climb to 8,500, so be it. So we're pretty close to these clouds right now. We're still legal. We're 500 feet below. So, yeah, the trim's got to work for me here. And I'm really sorry about that radio, but when I'm on VATSIM, I gotta stay on the Unicom, so. I'm gonna connect to the voice server on the Virtual USA Flying Club here. That way we can talk to Chad on the way there, if you'd like to. It's all up to him. I'm going to stay right here at 6,500. That's what we're going to do for now. To stay under these clouds. Monroe should be off my left up ahead. I don't know if we're going to see it, but I got it on the GPS. And I got a flight time of about approximately 10 and a half minutes right now. So, doing pretty good. Ground speed of 93 knots, 95 knots, so we're working against this window here. Okay, there should be a road underneath us. There they are, okay. You mean my instrument rating? I will probably try to start it this summer. I'm still trying to get some cross-country time in. Because they get, they want 50 hours across country. I kind of already did that, but basically I'm treating it like this 172 SP model right here. I just push the knob up or towards that way if I want to go nose down, and I bring it back like that by going that way, nose up. So it's very delicate in the sim though, so I have to trim down right now. So I'm pushing that button down. The typical way that we do it in the settings I fly in real life is the wheel right here. So I have a trim wheel on my right here, and I could go down or up with it. If you push down, if you roll down on it, it pitches the nose up. If you go down like this, it pitches it down. But it's very, very sensitive in the simulator, so a little higher than I want to be right now. So that's the trim button, my friend. I also have to go on course here, so. But Monroe should be off our left, so. Usually you get in a nice cruise, like at 6,500, and then you try to keep it there by just trimming it out. So you get to cruise altitude, and then you just mess with that. You can also trim it to climb. It's really dependent upon what you want to do. So, it is attitude changes. RPM, you usually set that according to the POH and what you want to burn for fuel and stuff like that. Like right now, I'm not anywhere near maneuvering speed because the winds are pretty rough up here. So I'm going to go 2,400. And if I have to, I'll go 2,300. So, but now I'm just setting too much. So, like I said, the trim is very sensitive for the sim. I barely touch that button. Look how much I'm climbing right here. I want to level out at 6,500, so. And eventually it all balances out with RPM versus trim. And then you're fine. So, but you set cruise, you set it like 2,400-ish. That's a good 75% power range, and then trim it out to equal out, so. Can you hear me, Chad?
I can. How's it going?
It's going good. Going good. A little excited. Finally gonna get this done.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You've been doing this for a little while now.
Since June. Just saw the last stream, I had my 2-year-old, and she was just like touching everything. It was great.
Sounds like a blast.
Oh, it was, yeah. I was like, I will put this thing on autopilot. Yeah. Can't blame her, she's 2, you know.
Yeah.
But I think you're gonna like flying over the Class Bravo in Boston, because I've done that twice in real life, and it's always awesome to see Boston.
I'll bet. Right now I can't see a whole lot because I'm already icing up pretty good.
Yeah, I stopped at 6,500 just to get out of these clouds, so. Clouds are at 7,000. Did you go all the way up to 8,500?
I did, but I'm not in any clouds yet.
No. And you're using Rex Weather Force?
I am. Yep.
Sure you got it on live weather? Because I have like a cloud layer at 7,000.
Yeah, I can see a layer beneath me.
Yeah. So you're above 7,000 then, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm already at 8,500.
Alright. I tried to go there, but and I was gonna like patch a hole through the broken layer, but I was like, I'll see at 6,500. We'll see until it clears. It's supposed to clear up ahead though, so.
Nice. Yeah, I think in a little while here I'm gonna have to come down because I can see some clouds coming up.
Yeah, just go through one of those holes and get through it. All right, Monroe should be right on our left. Let's see if we see it. And we can. It's actually right there. So, where's that Jackson? No, that's Jackson Monroe. Well, Jackson is near Monroe, so I'll call it. And that makes it a time of 15 and a half minutes. So we can round it up to 16 or so on our checklist here. What did I say it was going to take? 16. So yeah, we'll say 16. Cool. Next is the windmills on our right. They're on the sectional. So we're looking for some windmills on the right. We'll see if the simulator has it. If not, I'll go by the GPS. So, be all good there. It's a little bumpy tonight. And the winds are working against us right now. But they should favor us just a little bit more as we head direct to Plymouth after we get to Sanford Maine. So. Very good. I gotta see, this trim is so sensitive that it takes forever to level out. Not lifelike at all. It usually doesn't take this long. And to answer your question about the trim, by the way, it's to alleviate the pressure of the yokes. If you have to
I had to
constantly
break down and
climb.
get the Rex weather. I tried going back to X-Plane and doing a couple flights with Active Sky, and in comparison, man, I just can't do it.
Yeah, well, it is getting better. It still has a little couple things with it, though.
Yeah, I just kind of deal with the problems due to the fact that the scenery is so damn good.
For VFR, it's definitely the best, yeah. Just wish they had seasons, because right now you'd see all the oranges and browns and yellows and stuff. That'd be cool. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay, 2,400 might help us. American Airlines out of Boston is at 17,000 feet. So, going over to the Boston airport. We don't have to worry about that ourselves, but...
Well, that's neat. Text messages pop up right in the sim.
Yeah, that's people not on voice, so they're using text. That didn't do that. Didn't do that in X-Plane?
No, you had to have a an actual window up and open up top.
No. I still think X-Plane's a nice simulator. It's just not me.
Yeah, I never did Prepared, so I couldn't tell you how it compares to that, but I liked it compared to just FSX.
Yeah, it definitely has the better flight dynamics for the planes and X-Plane still.
Yep, but graphics and quality-wise, the planes and everything, this is where it's at now.
True, this is a lot of eye candy.
Yeah, it is.
Alright, those windmills should be off to our left up ahead. There's also a pond right there, so I'll still be able to see something visual. I was flying out of Mount Washington Regional up in New Hampshire the other day, and Rex Weather Force picked up the weather station at the top of the mountain there, and it said light snow, so it actually had a little bit of snow on the ground. It was pretty cool. Not that that's realistic, because that was 6,600 feet in the air, but you know.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't seen any snow yet. I'm waiting for it.
Okay, let's see if they have these windmills. They're supposed to be right around here, right near this pond. But I don't see them. Should actually be a little south. Oh, there they are. Cool, they put them in. Yay, good visual then. Awesome, so that's our next checkpoint on the sim. And we should be there in about maybe 5 minutes or so. So, good times. Okay, well, thank you for letting us know. Again, everyone's on 122.8 around here for the Unicom whenever there's not bad sim controllers online, so we shall see. And you can see it's breaking up a little bit, so we should be able to climb to 8,500 eventually, but I might stay at 6,500 for now, just to stay at this cloud there. I should also probably tell Fricky that. All right, we're right over Freedom, Maine, and we will be going through Maine for quite a while, and then heading through Massachusetts. So are we going through New Hampshire at all? I don't think so. Maybe just a little part of it. Yeah, Portsmouth, and then I'm going to go right to Massachusetts. So
Don't know if it was ice or
cool.
weather or what. Man, I hit a patch there. It slowed me down to like almost 80.
yeah, it's just the winds are working against us. The winds aloft are from 270, so.
Yeah, reading 34 knots from 270 right now on my screen.
Yeah, that sounds about right. The forecast said 31, but it's an average, you know.
Yeah.
Very good. So again, the windmills are a checkpoint, and they are in the sim. Right down here. They were here. Oh, there they are, right there. That's our checkpoint. So we're gonna head right to the left of those. Get back on course. We're not that far off though. It's nice that they have them in the sim. Very nice. They don't always have the things that are always on the sectional. Like, it depends if they really paid attention to put them in. That's really cool. Alright. And I'll say about 22.
I should have taken the bigger diamond with the de-icing.
Hey, deal with it like a real pilot, my friend. I was over Lake Michigan during these flights, and I had bad icing, and I ended up doing like a landing on an island in the middle of Lake Michigan at an airport, and just pretended I de-iced it there.
That's awesome.
I couldn't get any lift because it was that much ice. So I was like, okay, I have a choice to make. I'm over Lake Michigan. There's an island, or I could try going to Michigan still.
Island is probably the safe bet.
It was closer. Yeah, at first I was like, I could go. It's a sim. And I was like, no, real life I wouldn't go to that island. So the compass is accurate. It's actually more accurate than the DG, the directional gyro here, which because of precession, it gets knocked out.
What's your speed at right now?
Ground speed of 93 knots. It actually picked up 95. But yeah, we use the compass because you see this gets out of alignment here and there. So about every 15 minutes you want to look at that and see if it lines up with the compass. This is actually more accurate than this. This just keeps you on track here. But you want to set it to the compass about every 15 minutes while you're flying, because this is a gyro in there that, again, precession kind of is not perfect all the time. Makes things a little off. Not by much. So if you're going on a short flight, it doesn't make a big deal, but you get in the habit of checking up there about every 15 minutes, and then you turn this knob here to change it. So it says like 250 right now, 251. So you can see it's pretty good, so I don't have to do anything. But we do use it. We use it a lot, especially if you're flying long distance and lining up the runway and stuff. Like you might see in my run-up, I always say, all right, compass should be here. So there is a delay, yeah, when you make turns. It delay on a lot of things actually. But you kind of learn that in your private pilot training too. Like they'll have questions about if you're accelerating, which way does this compass want to go? And it wants to go north at first, and then it kind of lines up. And you want to set that when you're at a steady level here. So if you're cruising, that's when you set the compass, not when you have if you're accelerating and decelerating, you want to be in a steady state of motion when you set it. But these DGs, you'll be in real life, you'll have there's a little delay. Yeah, the VSI is the vertical speed thing there. So see, I was already going up, but the thing didn't really show me right away how much I was climbing. And I want to be climbing because of the trim here, but we're getting bumped around a little bit. Alright, next checkpoint would be Cooper's Mills, and that's in 11 minutes. So that would be a town directly to the left of our flight path here. Again, that would be in 36 minutes, did I say? Yeah, 36 minutes total flight time, so we'll see if that holds true. It's been pretty good on the planning, so. See, I was already leveled out, and you see how that went leveled out a little bit after that? That's what they mean by the VSI lag, but it's, you know, it is what it is. It's still pretty accurate. Follow. You made me look at my private pilot handbook a lot since the test there to go over some things with your questions. So it's good. It's good for me to review that. But I don't know if I remember answering the instrument rating question. I would like to start that this summer, if hopefully. But I'd like to get the 50. Oh, I don't know. I have no clue what the lag is, secondish. So. But you kind of get used to it. So you kind of, it's like when you said that, I was like, huh, lag? Because you just kind of get used to it being, you know, a little bit delayed in the thing that it tells you, so. Alright, let's get some scenery here. We are Palermo, Maine. It's looking pretty good. Fricky's behind me. And Chad is up higher, up there somewhere. Can't really see him because he's on that sim, and they don't have the names, which are not much on that sim. So he's up there, trust me. And I hope to get to 8,500 sometime, but I'd like to get a break of these clouds here. Chad says he was experiencing some icing up there, so I don't know if we want to do that. Sky Vector says, I never check the air vents and sig vents like I do in real life. You think I would? There is some icing, but it's supposed to be over Bangor more, but you never know. It could be a little bit there. And we have moderate turbulence as an air met as well. But no IFR. It actually looked better when I first researched the weather. So, well, this is, you know, a magnetic thing. So when you, it wants to go towards the magnetic pull of the
right
Earth.
underneath the cloud here at 8,500, and I'm starting to ice up to the point where I'm almost at stall point.
Yeah, I would try to descend if you could. Try to get down to
Yeah, I'm coming
6,500. Yeah, even if you gotta cheat a little bit, why not? Well, all right. I'll try to explain the compass thing here. So you see I'm on 240. If
Yeah,
I
vision was just starting to
accelerated
get a
and I was going
little
on an
foggy
east or
from the
west
edge of the
direction,
cloud,
which I'm
and
going
I
mostly
looked over the
west,
side of the wing,
I
and it's like,
accelerate.
huh,
The tendency of this
that's
compass is to turn to the north first while I accelerate, 'cause it's tracking that magnetic pull, and then it'll even out eventually. So that's what they mean by compass error. And if you're decelerating on a westerly or easterly route, it basically goes against the northern pull and goes to the south. So accelerate north, decelerate south, the ANDs. That's how you kind of remember that. And that is on the private pilot written test, or else it could be. So that wasn't on mine, but it is a question they can pull from. It's 60 questions, and they have a whole bank they can pull from, so it's all computerized. But if you really want to get into that stuff, I studied from the Bleem Private Pilot Study Guide. It was the book. And I also used the Sporties app, which is very much like the actual flight test. I mean, the written test. So if you, it always has that north pull. So when you're decelerating, it kind of goes forward towards the south and then aligns itself back to north. If that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense. It's just that northerly magnetic pull makes it, because it's in a liquid capsule here, so it swishes around until it lines up again with the north heading. Does that make sense? And that's what makes the compass have deviations. So, is it a huge thing? No. Do you have to know it? Yeah, if you really want to know accurately how you're setting your head, like, this would be bouncing around a little bit in real life, you know? Like, it will if I turn left and right, but it'd be bouncing a little bit. Oh, excuse me. Cooper's Mills coming up ahead of us. I think I got the trim the following kind of work here. So no, it's going back up again. Oh, I hate this trim in the simulator. If only it could be like real life. And if I use the wheel, if I just tap it with my finger, it goes like way up or way down. So I don't know what to tell you on that. So no, I didn't know it before I studied the private pilot. I got to be honest with you. So there's a lot of things you learn, and if anything, it's better to over-prepare than under-prepare. So there's a lot of things, like you have to know the equipment that you need in order to do this. The whole electrical system, at least in this, is DC. I don't know of any aircraft that have an alternating current system, but there's probably one or two out there, maybe, I don't know. This is, I believe, 28 volts direct current. So, and they can ask you all those questions too when you take your private pilot written about the aircraft that you're flying. Slug. Yep, this has some power going to it. So, it's the little plane though. The slip ball, whatever you call that. That is all mechanical. That's just a ball floating in there. So, but the plane would not move if you lost power to this instrument. So. Alright, Cooper's Mills coming up on our left. You see the lake that I saw? It's right down here. Distance, something kind of weird. It's a really small, dinky town. So again, I tried to pick stuff like this that leads down to it, so I know I kind of right on there. So looks like the sky's clearing though. The slip ball is not DC powered. This is just a ball in this thing. The actual airplane here, to show you your angle, is powered. So, and I don't know about the battery. So I don't think there's a battery in this. I think it's hooked up directly with the aircraft electronics. So turn coordinator right here. See, it has its own circuit right here. So if something went on it, this would hopefully pop out, and you'd push it back in and test it and see if it works. So does that make sense? Is anything with that? I mean, you could look at the POH and it'll tell you, like, that's 5 amps obviously, but you have to find out the voltage. So but I believe it's a 28 voltage system. So. Buses, that'd be this thing right here. There's a whole bus bar that things are hooked up to, and these circuits are the individual circuits coming off the electrical bus bar. And I think there's 2 or 3 in the 172. Again, everything's in the POH, so. And on the oral, they usually ask you about like electronics and stuff. I don't know why I was not asked about that on mine, but I was ready to answer it, so it is what it is. I was, again, over-prepared for what I went through, but I'm glad I over-prepared rather than under-prepared, because then I understood a lot more things when going through the whole process. And it made me less nervous. Like, I was pretty shocked. They had a video on YouTube of this gentleman going through the private pilot oral, and it was literally a lot of stuff. And I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? But my actual private pilot oral, and Dave, don't take me on this now. Overstudy still, but my private pilot oral was actually easier than what I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The one where it asks about like NDBs and stuff, which they're not gonna ask about right now. And again, they're slowly closing down VOR stations too. They're gonna keep the crucial ones, but they're expecting people to be more reliant on GPS. So. You know what I'm talking about. You know what? I should probably find that video. Now you're going to make me find that video. So, let me find it. I'll leave a link, everybody. Give me a second. Alright. Yeah, you know. Oh, here it is. Alright, give me a second. Alright. It's a little dated. It's from the 90s, I believe. And, no, my nerves knocked me off the oral more than anything. He had me do a weight and balance, and I was looking at the fancy charts. Cooper Mills on the left. And, yeah, I stood there in total sweat, not being able to do a weight and balance. I'm like, dude, this is retarded. This is the thing I'm going to fail on. And then finally he was like, listen, sometimes it's best just to do it the long way. So I'm like, oh, yeah, wait times arm equals moment. Let me just figure everything out and not look at this ridiculous chart. So if you have to do it the long way, do it the long way. All right, Cooper's Mills got there in about 35 minutes, so we're 1 minute ahead. We'll adjust the times as needed. Hopefully not veer off course too much. Doesn't look like we will. I'll tell you about my practical in a second. That was the harder part for me, at least. Just gonna change my check times here. So it should take us about 2 hours, 15 minutes now. Oh, sweet. Alright, let me get my next checkpoint going on here, so I know what's in my head. Dresden Mills, and that's in 8 minutes. But the practical, no, it's what you train for. You got to be ready. Your instructor has to sign you off on it. So you should be able to pass it. That's what it is. I did not have to do arbitrary numbers, no. I actually had to do it for the, you know, honestly I had to do one anyways because I was in the 152. And me and the designated flight instructor, I had to take out fuel to meet the weight and balance requirement either way. So, and then he's like, oh, let's say you take a day trip. And in the back, you don't have anything when you first take off. I'm using Dead Reckoning for the flight sim right now. So, same thing I do on cross country right now. Looking for checkpoints, have my times all written down. I use the E6B to calculate them. So that's what we're doing. Dresden Mills is our next checkpoint. What's that, bud?
I thought I heard you say something broke up.
That I did not. However, tons of people ask me about private pilot oral and check ride, so.
Fun stuff.
It keeps me sharp, you know, so I like it.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, when we first took off, I had to go through the whole briefing with them as like you treat them like they're a passenger. So you tell them about like the sick bags, fire extinguishers if you have any, what their job is to spot traffic, help you out, you know. If he can ask questions while you're doing the pre-flight. And honestly, he asked a couple, but like when he knew I had a grasp on it and could answer everything, it was fine. Only answer what you need to answer. Don't go into a big long diatribe about what something does or anything like that. because if you say one little thing wrong on that, they will try to pick that out and make you say it right because you just dug a hole for yourself. That's one thing I would tell you. That didn't happen to me because, again, I studied and saw what other people did. But that video right there is the 1990s version of the pilot oral exam. You know what I'm talking about. So, and then I think it's honestly up to the designated flight examiner. I had a nice one. And again, my instructor I actually worked with. He was a teacher where I work at the high school I work at. So I knew him, and he's like, you could probably have anyone, but I want you to go with this guy. So he kind of matched you up character-wise. And I've heard horror stories, and I've heard good things. But the guy I had, which I'm not going to say his name out of privacy concerns, but he is known for, you need to know your stuff, but he's going to be reassuring to you when you get a little nervous, And so anyways, we took off from Plymouth, runway 6. And he's like, all right, let's do, we got to a safe altitude. Got to about over the Plymouth Harbor there if you're looking at a sectional. And he's like, all right, let me see. Yeah, that was a gamut. My oral was not that inquisitive, I would say. But it made me ready for anything. So that little sheet he has with all like the checkoffs on the ELT and stuff, make that sheet because that will make you look totally prepared. And you're going to be looking at all the records and fill it out. It has all your answers right there. So like, oh, how do you know it's IFR rated? They probably won't do that because you're a private pilot, but they'll ask about like, oh, how do you know the annual is done, and how do you know this is done? And you can have it all written down on that sheet. So copy that down. I got bonus points for that. And anyways, I'm going in circles right now. So anyways, took off from runway 6, I believe it was. Went over the harbor, and he had me do a power off stall, which is I can't remember. I always go power off, power on stall, but it's power off stall. Yeah, and I forgot to do the clearing turn because I was that nervous. But I caught myself after I did the stall, which I did pass. And I just said to him, oh, I forgot the clearing turn. I thought I failed right there because I've heard horror stories of designated flight examiners failing you on that. And he's like, nope,
and that jet that was behind us caught up pretty quick.
No, cool. There's one guy, Fricky, who he's flying a Microsoft Flight Simulator with us too. So I don't know if you see him at all, but he's with us. So anyways, I forgot to do the clearing turn.
So.
And I told him that after I did the maneuver. And he's like, okay, well, you acknowledged it. Make sure you do them on all the other ones. Stuff like that. Encouraging, but yet,
he's not on VATSIM, right? Just Microsoft?
Just Microsoft, yep. And so after that, I think the next thing we did was he made me turn a left downwind departure.
Right.
We started out on my cross country, which was to Islip in New York on Long Island. And we literally went to about...
It bugs me seeing doubles when I'm on VATSIM.
Yeah, I can see that. And if you're on VATSIM, it's actually more authentic because you're not going to see names, So.
I do miss the ID tags. I wish they'd come out with something for that.
Well, I think it's just a matter of getting model matching first and then figuring it out from there,
Yep.
And I think it's Microsoft for not having that in the multiplayer for like outside multiplayer. It's just kind of inside,
Yeah, we'll get there.
But that is a good video to follow if you learn most of that stuff there. And, oh, do I have that book? I had it from my friend the other day. He was trying to get us private. There's an oral check ride book. I think it's an ASA book. It has a blue cover. Let me see if I can find what I bought. But that went through like all the possible questions and more, and they make you understand the concept rather than just learning, oh, what's the answer to this question? So let me see if I can find that. That was a good book to study from. I still look at it from time to time just to rehash my memory. Once in a while, I still take the written test online with Sporties. And I just do the free version. I don't like pay for it, but I also have the Sporties app still. So, and they update that, and that is exactly like the written. So, but I like to think, and I'm not positive on this, that the better you do on the written, the more prepared they know that you are, and they won't ask as many questions unless they really have to. Does that make? I think that makes sense. Cause I got an 88. I should have gotten a 92. But again, I was nervous, and I forgot the transponder code for hijacking, which is 7500. So I was kind of an idiot. Unless I would have gotten a 92. But 88's not bad. And I think that helped me out on the whole how many questions I was asked during the oral and this and that. So, but he asked me about private pilot privileges and stuff like that, like what can you do, what can you not do, about the airplane, how do I know it's, you know, fit to fly. You'll have to know about the equipment on the airplane. Again, he didn't ask me many questions about that, but I was ready to answer about the electrical system and stuff like that. And obviously, you forget some of that stuff over time, but it's good to refresh your memory here and there. But again, I'm trying to find this book. I bought it off of Amazon, I think. If not, then I will not be able to find it right now. Maybe not. No. Well, that's not true. Give me a second. Alright, Dresden Mill should be off to our left. It's right near this pond over here, so let's take a look. And the river, so yeah, we're like right over there. There it is, right there, Dresden Mills. Actually, it's over here. That is our checkpoint, and I got a total flight time of 43 minutes. I'm not going to answer much more about this private pilot, because honestly, I want to kind of enjoy the flight a little bit more with the scenery, seeing that this is my last flight on the USA flights. But there's a lot. I'm going to try to find that book for you so I can kind of turn you onto that book, which it's not here because I didn't order it on Amazon. So pilot, oral test prep. Let's see if it pops up. Oh, it did. All right. This was a good book, and I'm not saying by Pilot Mall, but it has the link to it. If you want to learn about the oral exam, study that book. It will teach you everything. Also have your aeronautical information manual, and get sticky notes for the stuff that you might not remember, because one, it shows you that you prepared, and two, that you could find the answer if there's a question that you can't quite answer all the way. So basic med, you might have to answer questions on that as well, even if you're not doing basic med. I have a third class medical. I have a feeling I'm gonna go basic med after this. I don't really need a second class medical or anything. So check that book out, and I think the oral, yeah, exactly, yeah. So, and obviously you go over that with your instructor before you get signed off, because they have to write down the thing. Fritz is a real life CFI, by the way, so he can help me answer any questions here, probably better than I can. So, but I didn't think an 88 was bad, Fritz, right? That's not bad. I felt good about it. I still think I should have gotten a 92. But. All right, next checkpoint would be 08 Bravo Mary Meeting Airport, which will be a field airport off our left, and it'll be coming up very soon. So there's a river right next to it too. There's a big horn coming out of the river there. I think that's the Penobscot still. No, it's the Kennebec River. So. I haven't been able to look outside the airplane for quite a while, so let's take in some sights here. Can't climb to 8,500, so might do that soon. Let me get some icing reports here just before I do that. Now it's still showing moderate ice, but not where we are. It's showing it north of us. So, all right, sir, I'm gonna try climbing to 8,500. Seeing I got this hole here, and we'll see if there's any icing. Okay, full throttle.
Alrighty, yeah, I'm down here at 4,500, and the skies look pretty damn clear ahead of me.
I knew it was going to clear up. It's just a matter of time. Pitching up to climb about 80 knots.
We'll start to climb and see what happens up there.
Yep. And again, this will be to get over the Class Bravo in Boston, because the ceiling there, I think, is 7,000. So if I can stay up here, in real life it gives you more time in case there was a problem too. So it's kind of a cool thing to do. But let's also lean up the mixture a little bit. See if we can climb higher. Just make sure we're leaned out appropriately. That's about right. There we go. Climbing to 8,500. I just found my my written copy the other day because I was going through an old backpack that I had when I did the check ride, but I was so nervous that day. I was there in the morning. I didn't have to check right till like 2 in the afternoon. I was there at like 8:30 in the morning to go over the playing records and stuff, but just to calm my nerves too. And I tried to watch it on the coffee as well. But I did break down in tears after getting that. So it was a treasured moment there. My mother unfortunately passed away in 2004, but I remember seeing JFK on the TV, and she knew that my brother and I both liked flight simming, and she was like, promise me you will never ever go fly. And I was like, I cannot promise you that. So that seems to be, yep, that's it. Merry meeting right there. So that's our next checkpoint as we climb to 8,500. Got some scattered clouds here, but we're getting up there. So, but yeah, I didn't promise her, and she never got to see me become a private pilot nor take private pilot lessons. But I think she'd approve of it a little bit right now. You know, I'm still alive and kicking, so it's statistically flying safer than driving. But you gotta understand that that's because I think it's because we're trained so well, and that we actually really care about what we do because our lives are in it. You know. I mean, I've got 2 kids and a wife. I gotta live. You know, but at the same time, I'm not gonna back down from things that I've always wanted to do. So when I had a means of doing it, and paying for it, I went for it. My wife still calls it the midlife crisis, so it's all good. All right, so again, Merry Meeting Airport right there, and we'll get a time check there. 49 minutes, yeah. So we're right on with timing here. All right, Freeport is the next one. That's 9 minutes ahead on track, and it's a visual checkpoint on the sectional, so. Or a checkpoint for air traffic control communication. We're almost at 8,500 here. I'm a little skeptical of these clouds, but I think we're going to be okay. We'll see. See what happens. So we'll trim out at 8,500. See what happens here. But yeah, you got to do what makes you happy. And I know my wife sacrificed a lot taking care of the kids and stuff while I went to lessons. But that's why it also took me 3 years. Because I wasn't as consistent as I could have been if I did not have a family and kids. But obviously I love having them, so that's not an option. Not an option. So we accomplished it still and got everything done, and now I can fly whenever I want to. I just passed the FAA Wings program too, the basic level. So that was cool to have, and we used to check ride is actually the flight review, so I was able to do that. And the next time I have to do it is January 2022. But I'm thinking about going over a flight anyways with my instructor when I do the instrument rating. I told him that. I was like, we'll go over some maneuvers. It's been a little while. And even though I do like 45-degree turn and stuff, I like to have an instructor with me if I do stalls and stuff, just for safety. And I still want to do some spin training as well. I made him do a little bit of spin training with me, because I was like, I'm not doing this without having that. But the goal is to not put it in a spin in the first place. But at least I know kind of what to do in case that ever were to happen. So I don't know why they took it off the private pilot. I gotta be honest with you, because wouldn't it be better to know how to handle that than not? And you shouldn't be in that situation in the first place, but just in case. Just saying. My opinion. Alright, let's go down to 2,400 RPMs. You know, mixture a little bit. Right about there. Very good. And trim down slightly. It should actually bring it down a little bit. So, alright, if you are looking at a sectional at all, we're about to pass Brunswick, Maine. And Brunswick Executive. Off to our left there. Ricky's down there at 7,800 climbing. Chad, I'm gonna have to look at Fantastic here. He's off by, let's see, 1 o'clock or so. So he would be out here, but again, he's not gonna have a nameplate because he's on Bat Sim. So, oh yeah, the headwind sucks. We're at 86 knots ground speed right now, so. But I had to do it because it was funny because the storms up here the other day, it was terrible. It was gusting like 55 at JFK. Then that wind came over here, and I was going to do this like last night. I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to finish it. But when I saw all those storms coming in, I was like, Ain't gonna happen, because I like to fly real world weather on all these around the USA flights. And actually, any flight I stream, I like to at least do real world weather. You know, this isn't real world time. So, Ricky's out there, though, off my left. Honored to have you here tonight. And if any of you want to fly, we still have time. We're only about 40% into it. It's a 2-hour and 16-minute flight, so. But, if I were you, I'd probably take off from maybe Portland International, Kilo Papa Whiskey Mike, or you could meet us at Sanford, Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Mike. I am on Microsoft Flight Simulator multiplayer as well as VATSIM, so I'd see you either way. Again, over here is Brunswick. And things look beautiful up here, so someday I'll try to fly up here in Maine. It's a little more expensive than the flights I've been doing, but we've been saving up. So, real life, hopefully flying at night with my friends on Saturday night. So, we'll see. A couple hours, get some night flight in, and maybe land at Hyannis to, again, finish up the Cape Cod major airports. I will have been to every single one except for Falmouth. So, I'm going to slightly go to the left here to avoid this cloud glare, but I think we're going to be pretty good still. Excuse me. And I wish that this radio still wouldn't pick up. Like, what weather station is that? Kilo Oscar Lima Delta. Where the heck is that? Now I'm going to have to look that up. I mean, are we really that close to it? It's been like that since Bangor. Alright, let's see. Kilo Oscar Lima. Was it Mike? Oh, Delta. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's north of Bangor, but it's not the weather station. It's the CTAF there. So that is a bug in Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's no reason why we should be hearing that the whole ride here, but I'll have to do my best I can. So, all right, well, Fritz, I appreciate you coming out and flying with me, though, because I know it's been a while too. So I look forward to you maybe taking some flights with me. I want to start flying the Cirrus a little bit more on future flights, and we'll see what we can do. I gotta try to get into bush flying too. I gotta try to expand my horizons on the sim at least, but we'll see it. So, but I do appreciate you being here tonight. Again, ground speed of 93 knots, and Freeport is coming up right on this highway. It's probably right here. That would be Freeport, I'm thinking. And we are right off the Atlantic coast here. That is the Atlantic Ocean. Got a couple clouds. We won't talk about that. A little bit of clouds. So. Kilo Oscar Lima Delta. It's DeWitt Old Town Airport. It's northeast of Bangor, and there's no reason why I should be picking up a weather station because it's a CTAF. So that's cool. Yeah, I mean, in Massachusetts, I've driven through Maine, but I don't think Freeport. It's been more of a should go to the right here and get these clouds. But I went up there and played Sunday River as a gig in my 20s, and that was pretty cool. Then I actually have a friend that lives outside of Leamington, Maine, and I plan on taking a flight there post-COVID to go visit her. She was a co-worker working down here at the high school, and she moved back up to Maine, so. Yeah, I gotta look into that though. Like, I haven't flown a Cub at all or anything. It's always been the 152, 172, and the Cirrus. I've flown the Cirrus, obviously. You just want me to do that. So I think that's the first stream you caught me, honestly. So, all right. I think we're gonna descend down to 6,500. So, descending down to 6,500 for cloud clearance. It's coming in pretty thick, so we're gonna try to get down. Trying to avoid clouds, but we're gonna have to cheat a little bit here. Yeah, there's some icing happening too up here. So let's descend down to 6,500. Cheating a little bit, going through some clouds, but ooh, that's some severe icing. You weren't kidding about icing, Chad. Hey, trim down. Let's go. Yeah, 122.8, a CTAF channel, believe it or not. So I don't get it. And it might be a VATSIM, like vPilot thing, this program that we contact with. But I don't know why it's doing that. It's really weird.
Yeah, I was just about to say that mine's starting to come back some.
Yeah, 6,500 is where we're going. We'll stay there. I have to cheat a little bit too. I'm going through some clouds.
I'm still nothing but clear skies up here.
Interesting. See, this trim is not working the way it should though. Like I set that thing down to like 1,000.
I don't know if that's a discrepancy
Right
in
back
the
up.
weather, if it's because I'm just over to the side and above you a little bit. I don't know.
No clue, but it could be the refresh too. I don't know what you have to set on. I haven't set on like every 5 minutes. So
Yeah, I've got mine set to every 5 minutes. I turned off the transition though. I made the weather change instant. That could have something to do with it.
yeah, because I did the transition. I did that at first, but then I didn't like it when it would instantly go into clouds. So picking up some icing here. I had to send down the 6,500.
Yeah, that could be it. It could be just transitioning then.
Outside of air temperature is 27 degrees, and the icing air mat was more for the north, but you can't go by that. It could be all around you, kind of like my Block Island flight. I hate to keep bringing it up, but that's the only time I got carb icing, and they were saying that the icing was north of that airport as well, but with the haze and stuff. See, this haze is prime for icing conditions here, and that's what we're seeing here with these clouds and everything. So I can see why it has the right conditions. Anywhere from 20 degrees to 70 degrees Fahrenheit with visible haze can lead to icing. So
I've not used this plane much, but I don't think I'll be using it very much in the future. I'm not a real big fan of it.
the 172. What do you got? Freeport right there.
Oh, I've got the Diamond DA40.
Seems like a nice plane. It just doesn't fly well, or
No, I'm just not really impressed with the speed, because when you look up the POH, you're not supposed to exceed 2100 RPMs, but if you keep it dialed back to 2100 RPMs, I mean, true airspeed's only about like 110, 112 at the most.
yeah, the SP is supposed to be 114 if I average it out. So, all right. So that's 59 minutes to make it to.
I just can't wait till they get some more, I guess, study level planes would be the word I'm looking for. I like the more realism of it.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to be going after the Cirrus for more flights after all this. All right, I'm going to level out at 6,500.
Yeah, I went back to X-Plane for a little while, and I had my Beechcraft. It's got the rep package on it. And the one engine actually gets harder and harder to start because the compression keeps dropping on each cylinder on that side of the motor, and it just stuff like that I like.
Interesting. Well, Fritz, I don't know what that's all about, because I know that Microsoft Flight Simulator, the lighting is always on. It doesn't matter whether it's pilot controlled or not. So like Plymouth, it's 122.9er for the night lighting, but it's always on no matter what in the simulator. So, but yeah, interesting. It's kind of annoying because I don't have any choice. On VATSIM, we're supposed to stay on 122.8 wherever we are for the Unicom CTAF channel. So. All right, next checkpoint should be about 10 minutes, and we'll be going to Portland, Maine, Kilo Papa Whiskey Mike, overflying that. So we're not that far out right now. In fact, it might be now. Keep an eye on this icing, and it should be over there. You see the lights over there? That is Portland. And that is our next checkpoint. Excuse me. We're still clear of the class Charlie, because the ceiling here is 44,100. But we're not going to push the 8,500 if it's going to be icing conditions up here. So Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no, don't worry. I totally understood what you're saying. So, you know, and a lot of people don't know, if they just fly sim, that you do control night lighting with CTAF and Unicom and other frequencies sometimes. So, I didn't know that until I got into the private pilot stuff. So, and then, oh, I do have my last nighttime getting current flying at night for passengers video. I have 2 more videos before that, but have a great night, Fritz. We'll see ya. And yeah, I was going to land my 3 full stop landings at Plymouth, where we're landing tonight. And yeah, this lady got lost coming out of the flight school. She ended up driving up on the taxiways and the runway. So I'm trying to land, and literally this lady's on the runway, driving her car up and down it. So I had to go around twice. It was interesting. Fritz, we will definitely do more flights in the future. So maybe you can introduce me more to bush flying and stuff too, because I have to get into that. And I have to expand my horizons on the sim at least. In real life, I'll still probably doing the 172, 152, get the instrument rating, and then maybe take up the Pipers a little bit. But you can see the winds are kicking out there. Look at those waves, which are supposed to interact with the wind. And if you see the crests, kind of shows the wind's coming from the west. It's going that way, so very interesting. All right, compass 250-ish. It's pretty good. So, everyone, say goodbye to Fritz. He's an awesome friend on the simulator for us. So, if any of you watching want to take the flight here, by the way, we're going to be at Sanford Seacoast Regional, Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Mike. Feel free to get on Microsoft Flight Simulator and load up and join us on our way to Plymouth, Massachusetts. Yep, exactly. Yeah, but I see the Cubs flying in at Plymouth sometimes with the short finals and stuff because they're that slow. But it'd be cool to try to learn one of those on the simulator at least. Here we go, people. 6,500. We are only about 40% into our flight tonight. Because again, we're taking the long route here just to finish up the Around the USA flights tonight. This is gonna be it. So off to our left, Portland International. Get out there. Right around there. Actually, it's right there. See that? So that's our next checkpoint. Guess we do one around here. Now the skies are clear. The skies just got clear for me over Portland, so knew it was going to clear up, just a matter of time, but we'll stay at 6,500 due to icing at the upper levels, and you still see I'm carrying a little bit of ice, but that's not much at all, and it's not affecting my flight dynamics here much of anything. So as far as air traffic control, I still don't think there's any available to us. So see that Chad and I are going to Sanford and eventually going to Plymouth right there. So that's where we're heading, and there's no air traffic control for that sim, but that's okay. We will continue on our way and finish this flight. But if I maybe shuffle this, I mean, you'd think that it would turn off after a while. No? I guess I go to approach.
Some areas they really did outdo themselves, like looking down and being able to see the waves moving shit. Just pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, I just got done saying you can see the crest, and that kind of is affected by the wind. So you can see that the wind's coming from the west because the crest and the waves are going that way.
Yeah, that's
very
super
realistic.
Neat, but
yeah,
you know, you can't get vertical navigation to work on a freaking G1000, but you can get that.
Yeah, you know, it's all about the visuals.
Yeah. Small steps.
About a year and a half, maybe it'll be really good. You know, the mods coming out though are pretty good if you can test them out. The problem is testing them all out.
Yeah. Yeah, I've still yet to do any mods except the weather.
Like I have the GNS 530 mod right here because I couldn't push the direct 2 button and have it act like real life. And I wonder if they fixed it, but I just left the mod in anyway, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I still kind of cheaped out. Haven't gotten the good version, so it's mostly G1000 setups for me.
And it's funny because the G1000 is the more expensive one. Think about that. How ironic is that?
I know, it's weird. I don't really like using it though. It almost feels like cheating.
I like it. I like it in the Cirrus. I think it's cool. But again, I didn't learn that way, so that's why I fly the steam gauges on this.
Yeah. I just think of it like if I ever actually get a chance to, you know, get my license and rent a plane, I'm not gonna afford anything like this, so.
Never say never, because I'm telling you right now, after my instrument rating, I'm gonna save up and I'm gonna fly that Cirrus at least once. I'm gonna do it.
That would be sweet.
I think the 1 day of lessons is $600.
Still worth it, just for the bragging rights alone.
True, true.
Oh, I think I was icing up here at 6,500. I'm down to 86 knots.
I have 93 knots ground speed, but I still have some ice on the plane. So. Nothing
Yeah,
we
I've
can't
only got a
handle.
little bit on the wing, but it definitely brought my speed down for whatever reason.
That's because you don't have as good airflow over the wings, so the lift and stuff like that is being affected. And you got some extra weight there too, I guess. Shouldn't affect it that much though. So hopefully that'll melt off. It's definitely not the worst icing I've had on the around the USA flights. Never been this bad in real life though, because again, I pay more attention to the weather when I do real life. So it's all good. Portland in hour 8 total flight time. What do they say, an hour 9? Yep, so we'll call it hour 9. All right, our next checkpoint is Sanford, Maine, which is where we're going to make a turn direct to Plymouth. We're going to head 217 once we're over flying.
See, I don't
Sanford.
know why this happens too. Every once in a while, my autopilot will just completely quit responding, and the plane will just start rolling back and forth whichever direction it wants to.
Yeah, that is definitely a bug. And you have all the patches installed?
I mean, whatever they've updated the Microsoft Store, yeah.
Yeah, you should look for a mod. I don't know if they have a mod for the Diamond, but you should look for one. I got a true story about that.
It does it on
aircraft.
every single plane.
Really? Because I haven't had that problem on the 172, but it might be the mod. I don't know.
What's messed up too is it doesn't happen if my controller's not on. As soon as I turn the controller back on is when I get issues. So I don't. It's something to do with the controller.
Interesting. I was
So you
flying.
were saying, what about a diamond?
Yeah, I was flying out to Chatham because I was going to get breakfast. However, I didn't because, you know, my luck with restaurants flying in real life. And so there were like these two ladies there, and they started talking to me, you know. And of course, I'm married, so I can't do anything anyways. But yeah, I kind of talked to them like, oh, hey, what type of plane is that? And it ended up being a diamond. I was like, that's the type of guy you want to go after.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was like, yeah, see, I fly that plane. You can get that one for like $35,000 on a good deal, but you want to go after that type of plane.
Yeah, that's the guy you're looking for.
That's funny, when I flew to Provincetown, it was the first time I took the e-bike, and somehow I mystically fit it in the back of the 152. I still don't know how I did that. And so I'm at Provincetown, and I'm loading up to go back to Plymouth. And this guy, he was in like some type of multi-engine. I can't remember what it was. But he's like, hey, that's a nice bike. How much did that go for and this and that? And I was like, trust me, you could afford this. If you could afford that, you could afford this. But it's become quite the hit if I do take it out. Because they're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is pretty neat.
Well, when you can't fly for 3 months, you got to buy more toys, right?
Oh, 100%.
But now we have the whole family biking, so it was a good thing for all of us to get out. Sanford, Maine in about 14 minutes or so. We're 20 nautical miles out. And then we'll be turning due south. 217. If this trim would ever stay in one place, it'd be amazing. So that is Portland, Maine out there. Distance and about to get to the sun.
On and off and screwing with everything. It finally works again.
Oh, good. It teaches you to handle like mid-flight emergencies, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's what it is. Secretly, it's a failure. They just don't want to tell me.
You should borrow a 2-year-old and have him pull out the mixture. I don't know if you remember that time. I was flying with you on one of the Virtual USA flying clubs. She came over and just pulled it out and ran.
I do remember that. That was impressive.
I almost went into a spin. That was awesome. Not that prepared could do a spin, but you know.
Training for real life, so when he's in a plane, you can tell him, all right, now you never ever do that.
No, that's why you strap him down. You strap him down in the seat, and you pull it far away.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I can't fly him anyways, because my wife won't let me fly my kids, so.
Yeah, sooner or later he'll be old enough that you won't be able to stop him.
18. Got a couple years to wait.
You would think you'll get her to Cape before then.
I'm hoping that she goes up with me first, so.
Yeah.
I think I almost got her there. It's just a matter of who's going to take care of the kids and that type of stuff, so.
Just make sure nothing catastrophic happens the first time.
That's why you go at a very clear day with nice skies and no clouds.
Yep, just go up in the pattern once, bring it down. Ha! Told you it was safe.
It's that element of fear that most people don't understand, you know. Alright, we are looking out at Old Orchard
for sure.
Beach and Biddeford, Maine. They're on our left. At a rousing ground speed of 78 knots, everybody. The winds are definitely against us tonight. We're hoping that gets a little bit better, and it should after we turn direct to Plymouth. They calculated a ground speed of 106 knots. I said it would be 90 all the way down. It's about that. Sanford, Maine should be out in the distance. Sanford, Maine is where my designated flight examiner came from on that day when I had my check right. He actually flew in. I paid for half his flight. Someone else took their exam with him as well. And it was well worth it. Well worth it to have a designated flight examiner that was caring yet still asking the right questions and making sure I was safe. So I was very happy with that. Hey, Sky Maine, how are ya? Welcome to the Eric Flight stream here. Where are you from? I'm taking it's from Maine. And do you fly at all, or do you fly sim, or let us know. Let us know a little bit about you.
Kind of disappointed. I was hoping we'd have some ATC on. I've been avoiding actually going on the network because my weather's been so crappy.
And you know what stinks? The VAT sim actually had Boston Center on until we started up the sim, and it like went off. Brunswick.
I seen
cool.
that. I was trying to rush on to ask
Passed
him like,
Brunswick
oh, how
a little
long
while
you be
back,
on?
so that's
Not
awesome.
long enough, you jerk.
Real life, I haven't made it up to Maine yet, but I am making it through New Hampshire right now on my flights, and I hope to go to Maine when COVID's over, so I can go visit a co-worker that lives up in Leamington. So, but nice area. I live
Yeah,
in
that was a
Massachusetts.
major deterrent.
for life,
I tried
so.
flying on the network like twice, and both times the wind ended up being in completely different directions.
Oh.
And the controller, I don't know if there was because there was other planes coming in or what, but they just refused to even let me change the runway.
Interesting. You know what? It never lines up with Rex Weather Force, even though Rex Weather Force is the more accurate one, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? So. But we are flying to Sanford right now.
Yeah, that's
we're
what I
fly
like
Sanford
about
and go straight to my home base
Active
of
Sky.
Massachusetts.
Set it to follow that
So.
sim weather, and then you know there's not a problem.
That is true. It doesn't have a VAT sim weather option though, like Active Sky though.
No, not yet.
And I'm thinking Active Sky might be doing it. Sky Maine, we're practically the same. I got my private pilot last October, not this past October. October 2019, and I've been simming since
Well,
I
that
was
would suck to have to buy
18.
another one.
So I wouldn't say forever, so you probably have a couple of years on me, but welcome to the stream, and I appreciate you watching. So Biddeford, Maine, off our left wing. We are on VATSIM and Microsoft Flight Simulator multiple at the same time. And if you'd like to fly with us, you feel more than welcome. We're about to get to Sanford, Maine. We're about 9 minutes out or so. We'll fly to the airport, so feel free to load up and fly with us. We fly direct to Plymouth or Sanford. So. Pretty cool. And it's been pretty good weather. We have a little bit of icing, but nothing that we can't handle here. It's definitely not melting. Outside air temperature of 26 degrees still. Probably why.
Wow, that's the first time I actually saw the sun like go behind the clouds using the new weather engine. That was pretty realistic. That was good looking.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it definitely adds to it. Again, it does have some quirks, like I said, like the pressure doesn't update till you like depart and stuff, but 6,500. We'll be going through class Bravo.
See, earlier after I tried it the first time, what I did is I just drove like 2 small circles, just right around the apron, and like you could watch it just kind of pick up and everything changed instantly before I took off.
And a big part of that is Microsoft has to make an SDK for weather. Like, it's nice that Rex Weather Force kind of just went after it and did it. So, you know, at least we have something that's better than the default. Hey,
Absolutely.
we're all gonna get there, Skymane. We're all gonna get there. So, my wife says I'm in a midlife crisis.
I think next
my
week I'm
pilot
going
license.
to
We're all gonna get there.
buy the Mooney and see how that is for this.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Cirrus out on the next couple of flights. I think when I'm streaming. It helped me in the poker run with the Virtual USA Flying Club because I literally went down to the last minute and I actually won. So.
Oh, that's cool.
But I needed that extra speed to make it back to Atlantic City because I literally like was down to the last minute and I didn't win till I landed at the last airport.
I don't even think I've got the option for the Cirrus. I think that was in one of the update or the ultimate versions or whatever.
Yeah. But feel free to keep chatting or just kick back, relax, and enjoy the flight. We have about another, a little less than an hour, probably about 58 more minutes of flight time here. I calculated that it was going to take us a total of 2 hours and 16 minutes.
Yeah, my goal within the next few weeks is to start getting into doing IFR stuff finally.
Cool. I'm just trying to build up real world cross country time, and then I'm going to try to get the instrument rating, and then I think I'm good for a while. Like, he's like, oh, you should go fly a 250 nautical mile cross country. So if you want to do like commercial and become a CFI, and I was like, no, I think I'm good. I just want the instrument for now and have fun with it. So.
Yeah.
But I did fly to Keene, New Hampshire on my last flight, and that was cool. That actually got into a little bit of mountains. So.
Nice.
You're probably used to that, but I'm not. You'll see at Plymouth, it's totally like near the ocean, you know.
Yeah, we got all sorts of hills and mountains out here.
Beautiful. All right, Sanford is ahead of us. Let's see if we get a visual. There it is, way out in the distance. Sanford, Maine, everybody. I'll probably be doing a real world play up here someday. See what happens. We're gonna overfly that and turn south.
One of these days we'll have to try and plan a flight and go down to the like Kinzu Dam. It's like an hour away from where I live. There's tons of hills and this big massive lake and all sorts of cool stuff on the way.
That's cool. Maybe sometime I'll actually pick it up your way. I have to save up some money, that's all. It takes money, that's all it takes. Money and time.
Lots of money.
I do want to go like on a trip after COVID's kind of like dead, you know, so.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it to start slowing down and go back to normal, but it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon.
No, we're just gonna have to wait and see if that vaccine can actually come out and do its job, so. Sanford, Maine. Kenny Bunkport out there in the distance, by the way. We've got some prohibited airspace out there on the coast. Makes me want to take the drone out there, but I'm afraid that on this last flight it would crash the sim. I'm not going to do it right now. So, but I will give you a drone look at Plymouth, my real life home base in real life for flying after we land there tonight. And if you feel like flying the Plymouth, the Virtual USA Flying Club, I'm going to do a pitch for them. Let's see, this way, they'll have a banner. You're hearing Chad, who's a member of the Virtual USA Flying Club as well, and we fly general aviation flights on VATSIM, which is online air traffic control, and we have a lot of fun doing it. I'm actually hosting the next event for the club. We're going to do a fly-in to Plymouth, Massachusetts for Thanksgiving on the 22nd at about, I think it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that'd make it 0, give me a second. Or maybe it was 8 o'clock. It might have been 8 o'clock. So 0100 Zulu. And because, oh, do you want to hear? I mean, I don't know if you rent still or if you own, but I am paying $125 an hour, which I thought was pretty good for the 172p. It's VFR rated only.
I think I'm starting to hit some clouds of 6,500 up here. I might have to come down to 45.
Interesting. I didn't see anything yet, so I see stuff in the distance though.
I'm like way over, kind of like on the coast too. I'm riding the coast down.
I got you. Watch out for Kennebunkport because that's prohibited. Sanford Maine right there. But it's 125 for the plane wet per an hour, and instruction I think is $50 an hour. So if I got instruction in the 172p, it'd be 175 an hour, dual. Just a big long difference from $18, and that's the cheap one.
What am I looking for? I'm checking out the sectional right now.
We're overflying Sanford, Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Mike, and then we're gonna turn about 217, I think I said, and that'll put us on a direct course to Plymouth over Class Bravo.
What were you telling me to watch out for though?
The P67 Kennebunkport. That's where the president's one of his residences, I think. It's to the left if you're looking on course to Stanford. Right out there. So that's some slight icing. I don't know if it's picking up anymore. Doesn't look like it. I mean, my frame's just kind of dipped a little bit. Must be loading some weather. Yeah, alright. But you can see why there's icing.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, I see what you're talking
Alright,
about.
let's go down to 4,500. We'll descend down. I'm just setting down to 4,500 for cloud clearance and hopefully get some of this icing off the plane. So
Yeah, I flew right over the golf course. It was like directly next to that. I came really close. I didn't even see that. That was a tiny one.
I'm not reporting anybody. I'm just saying. Whatever you want to do with presidents are fine with me. So
I just wanted to see who was there now. Who really is the president?
that might take some time, you know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna know for a while. And then I think when we do know, I think they're gonna throw so much of a fit, try and recount, redo everything. I think it's gonna be a long time.
No, there's got to be something happening in January, right? But these clouds are lower than what they
At this
forecasted.
point, who
so.
knows?
I voted. I leave it there. I'm not bringing politics on this stream. I'm just saying it is what it is now.
Yep. Yeah, I never really get into that. Whatever happens, happens.
It's out of our control anyways. You vote and that's it. Here we go. So you see us loading some scenery and that's why the frames dip. But now we're back to 40 frames per second while streaming, which I think is pretty good. We're just about over Sanford. And I got a time of 1:25, which is what I said on my foot log. We're doing red today. So now we're going to York. York is our next checkpoint. That's Sanford Maine right there. Take a little screenshot of that. That's why you saw a flash there.
And just yesterday, I started. I'm planning out a big flight. I want to take the ferry route that goes over to England.
217. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got it all planned out on SkyVector. It's like a 29-hour flight total, but I got it broken down into like little 300-mile sections all the way up and around.
That's how this started with the Around the USA things. This is the second time I've done something like this. Last year I did something like this too. But if you're wondering what I'm talking
Well,
about,
since
this
I'm only
is
a couple flights in, I'll let you know when I'm doing some more of that. Maybe you can tag along. What I'm trying to do is I was going to fly all the way up on X-Plane and then hit every single same airport on the way back with Flight Sim 2020.
Cool, yeah, definitely let me know. So, if you're wondering though, Around the USA flights, this is what we've
Right
done.
now, my hardest part is I found all the charts going up through Canada, but after I cross out of Canada and go over to Greenland and Iceland and stuff, I can't find a good spot to get any free charts.
Yeah, that might be tough. Even the Canadian charts, like you have to go online for them, but. So
See, I got lucky. That app that I use, Flight Plan Go, they've got full Canadian set up in there too.
That's the thing I miss about Navarre, so I'm going to ask the developer, but they would have to get like some copy of it from the website.
I've got the add-on now for Flight Plan Go for 2020. You should give that a shot sometime. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's kind of like relearning stuff though, so I don't know. So, hey Rob, calm down. Sorry, Rob was telling me to talk.
Oh, got ya.
No,
yeah, I
don't worry
compared
about
it
it.
with Avare, and it's similar. So if you ever want to check it out, it's something that you could pick up pretty quick.
Definitely, yeah, it's just experience with it. So, but here's the Around the USA flight. It's really fast. We left Plymouth, Mass, went all the way around because I know I have some viewers that just kind of tuned in, and we're on the last leg. We went from Bangor and we're going back to Plymouth, and that will take us all the way around the United States. So that's what we're talking about when we say Around the USA flights for.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it
2020.
working on a laptop instead because I cracked the screen on my phone, so I can't use my phone for anything. So it's just kind of like just using in-game navigation, and it sucks.
That it does. And in fact, the VFR map would actually crash the sim before they patch that up too.
That's wonderful.
So, yeah, I was in the middle of a flight, like one of these, and I was right at the end, and I accidentally pushed the V button, and the map came up and crashed the whole thing. I was like, oh my god. We're descending for 4,500
been so
cloud
pissed.
clearance, and I was hoping to get some of this icing off, but it's still 26 degrees out, so I don't see that happening. And, Rob, how are we doing tonight, by the way? We're right out of North Berwick, and I believe that's Maine still, but we're about to go to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which I hope to fly to really soon. I was supposed to do that last Saturday, but I chickened out due to winds, and I probably could have done it, but better be safe than sorry. So, better be safe than sorry. But in front of us is Portsmouth coming up there. Again, heading direct to Plymouth now. And York is a town right up the highway over here on our left. Probably around here. A little north of Portsmouth. So, cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, as always. Thought the skies would be clear the whole way down after we got out of Bangor. I knew that was going to be overcast, but that is not it.
I want to do barrel rolls
Hey!
and loop the
Thank you very much, Skybeam, for following. Now we only have, what,
Do that kind of flying
3 more
here.
people to get to 50 followers, so I can
Dangerous,
actually maybe get an associate
We lost
status
it.
and give you some
Who does?
interaction.
Flat.
But enjoy that little snippet from Space Cowboys. Again, one of my favorite movies. So, got that for following, so thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. And who knows? Seeing that you're out of Maine, maybe one day you'll hear me on the radio up there. I don't know. Beautiful scenery. It does look very lifelike. So, the satellite imagery is awesome. I just wish they had seasons. I am from Massachusetts. I'm out of Dighton, Massachusetts, and I fly out of Plymouth. I rent planes from Alpha 1 over there, where I got my private pilot license. And that's what we do, other than teaching. So, teaching's my main job, and honestly, I make all my money from flying on YouTube. So, Mars, huh? I'm from Mars? What makes me from Mars, Rob?
All right, I'm going direct to the Boston VOR now, so I can just fly directly over the center.
All right, enjoy. We want to get some screenshots. That's gonna look pretty nice.
Oh, absolutely.
When I flew with my friend to Nashua, I made him take the controls while I took pictures of Boston over Class Bravo. It was cool.
Nice.
Then there was like a JetBlue jet right in front of us. It was like I want to say a 767. It might not have been. I might just be emphasizing that for the fact that I was flying, but it was cool to see it come through the clouds.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a little 747, and it could probably look like a big-ass, monster jet.
That is true.
That's got to be cool. I can't wait.
That's very
I'm
cool. I was
hoping
giddy.
to
I was like a little
actually get up in the air
schoolgirl
this
up there.
spring.
You actually
Oh,
gonna do it
that.
this spring?
Yeah, because I went back to one of my old jobs, and I was talking to one of the boss's kids, and I was telling him, I'd really like to try and get into it this year. And he's like, oh, yeah, my buddy's a flight instructor. All you got to do is tell me about it. It's like, oh, no shit.
Well, there you go. The connection's been made. Oh,
Yep,
the SpaceX
exactly.
watch. That was awesome yesterday. Yeah. So. It's
Yeah, they've
amazing
got
what
a smaller
commercialism
flying
can do.
club, like right outside of Buffalo, so hoping to get there in the springtime.
Cool. Let me know how it goes.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be just flooding the Discord with pictures like a little schoolgirl.
That's how it happens. And then the victory I had when I went to Keene was I overflew restricted airspace because above the ceiling, but it was kind of weird because you're watching yourself go over that point in the sectional. That's pretty cool too.
Oh, I bet. That's got to be funky.
Because you're still nervous, even though you studied everything. Like, all right, ceiling's at 4,000, I'm at 8,500, but still, this is weird.
Yep. It feels like you're just a rebel.
There you go. Oh, there are, yeah. And maybe commercialism is the way to go with space. I mean, I do believe in NASA and public funding, but it seems SpaceX has done a lot for the program. So, all right. Let's see. What was the next checkpoint? It was York, which should be right off my left. York Harbor, actually, in York. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, it's right there.
Were you flying real time?
I'm flying day, but with real world weather, because I wanted to see the sights.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did too. I started off at like 6:40 in the morning, so I was flying out on the sunrise.
Yeah. Oh. Well, like I said, SkyMay, we'll all get there someday. I hope not sooner rather than, I hope later rather than sooner, but I'm probably going to go basic med. I have a
So
third
your
class.
event is the next event coming up, right? 22nd, I think?
That it is. We're flagged to Plymouth, so get used to it now.
Yep.
But I have my third class medical to 2024, but I think I'm going to go to basic med because, again, I don't
Yeah, I'm hoping
really
to have
plan on
Mooney
doing
by
commercial.
then,
So.
because I spent so much time flying that same exact Mooney on X-Plane, and it should be, you know, just like riding a bike.
Yep. Yep. All right, we got an hour and 34 minutes. Which is right
I
on.
don't know if
Seabrook
this
Beach
one
is our next
for Flight
checkpoint.
Sims
10
got
minutes.
it, but I know the one for X-Plane, they actually had a little switch where it was stereo headphone, and then you switch it, and it was Bose headphone, and it kind of like cut out all the background noise, and that was really nice. I hope they got that same feature.
That's what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing my A20s. Really expensive, but they have active noise canceling, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, that's awesome.
Again, 3 months of not flying just means I buy toys.
Oh, absolutely. And what kind of man would you be if you didn't?
And again, I do YouTube videos for all that. So I budget everything. I'm actually ahead by like $1,600, but I'm gonna leave that little padding there. So
Nice.
yeah, it is what it is.
I was kind of ahead of the game, and then I made the mistake of going back to my old job that I was telling you about there, and I work at a marina. Last time I worked there, because we sell campers and boats, last time they conned me into buying a camper, and this time they conned me into buying a boat.
It's all in the spirit of adventure, though, my friend.
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, a pontoon is just the coolest thing in the world, man.
It's a little harder being married with kids, but like I still like the flying for the adventure of it all, you know.
Yep.
So I just
Yeah,
got your
kinda
Mars
lucked out. It
reference,
was,
Rob.
A wrecked one, an insurance claim, and I knew how to do all the work, so I fixed it up and put some time into it.
Yep.
Got a pretty nice boat out of the deal.
Cool. So, well, Rob, if you go to Mars, I'm definitely gonna come out to Ohio somehow and fly in a plane with you. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but that'll be your goodbye gift before you go on to Mars. How's that? All right. So that was York. What's the next one? I thought it would be Portsmouth, but I didn't use that. Seabrook Beach. That's right. I already said it. And that'll be off our right on the coast here, up ahead of us. But we're gonna be over some water pretty soon, directly over Boston and Massachusetts Bay, and hopefully holding it for 4,500. So, yep. Just takes time and money. Remember that. But I am slowly saving up for a plane. Not sure if I'm gonna get one. But I also have some money in.
Yeah, we've got ATC
reserve for that.
online, but we're just about to fly out of range.
Out of Boston?
No, it's showing MTL, whatever the hell that is.
Montreal.
MTLRW.
Yeah, Montreal.
Is Montreal actually going to this airspace, or is my map screwed up?
No, it's just that it's picking up the closest center, so which is Montreal.
No, I'm actually using an app, and it's showing me that because I got it set so when you take off, you put in your call sign, and it'll send you a message on your phone if you enter into somebody's airspace if they come online or something. Must just be off right now.
Interesting. One of the
Yeah, for
flights
the
I
most
want to
part,
do.
it works pretty good because if you're, sitting there and you don't notice that somebody comes on, you get a text on your phone saying blah blah's on, you're in their airspace, whatever. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just look at Fantastic, but again, I have the 3 monitors, so I have like a right monitor with all that stuff on it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to get going with the laptop, but I really want a moving map. I know Navigraph's got an app for that, but I don't know if it works for Flight Sim, and they don't actually have a VFR sectional map. It's only IFR charts.
And you can't do that with that Flight Plan Go or whatever that was?
Not on desktop, no, just on phone.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got you. There is a old app. I'm trying to find it right here. I don't use it that much anymore. Let me see if I can find it. Called My FS Google Earth, and it hooks up to the downloadable version of Google Earth, and it'll update it on the Google Earth map as you're flying.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I had that around FSX and FS 2004 even, so.
Yeah, I'll look into that because most of them have started to be compatible.
There you go, over the water here, and Seabrook Beach will be a little bit further down, right about here-ish. That'll be our next checkpoint right there. But no air traffic control online for Boston Center or anything like that, so we are going to fly through the class Bravo at 4,500.
There we go, we're finally pretty close to each other distance-wise.
Oh yeah, you're a little bit ahead of me, so I still haven't seen you, but I'm looking.
Yeah, I haven't seen you either. I slowed it down about 5 knots to see if I can see you come behind me.
You gotta look for those nav lights. Land in your driveway.
That's what I was looking for.
I'm not very close to Plymouth. I'm about a good 40-50 minute drive out. I just go there
On the
because
plus side, my windshield's starting to defrost off
So.
pretty damn good.
Yep. All the ice melted off my plane, so I feel better about it now. But Rob, I'm actually closer to Kilo Tango Alpha November.
Yeah, my wings have been
Taunton.
clear for a while, but the windshield's finally almost completely defrosted.
Yeah, but generally Taunton isn't a very well-run airport, and they don't have a flight school at all. So I just rent out of Plymouth where I did my flight training still. So, and it's the busiest general aviation port in Massachusetts. So it's actually good that I got my training there because I got a lot of experience with at least GA there. And hence why we're flying here tonight.
Well, I'll be back in just a minute.
All right, sir. But my driveway in the sim, one, it's way too small to land in. Number two, I'm in the middle of the boonies. I don't know if you remember that because people were researching that. And maybe I'll do that in a future stream, but I'm to the west of the airport, about a good 30 miles. So if you look at Taunton, I'm about a 15-minute drive away from there. And that gives you an idea where Dayton, Mass is. So you can just check up Dayton, Mass. You won't be getting the address though. I don't. It says a virtual green screen. So literally, it's software with the NVIDIA graphics card taking out the background, and then I have it running a video behind me of the cockpit with the scenery right here. I made this myself. I photoshopped this. So this is a ping file. This is a video behind it, and I made it one video, so I had transparency, and it just replays that video about every 10 minutes. So that's what you're seeing. So it's a virtual green screen. And if you plan it right and get creative like I do, you can actually do different things with it. That could be on a couch, or in a living room, or in the Big Apple. I think that's the Big Apple. I'm not sure if that is or not. It could also be in the Cirrus. Give it a second. Videos load. It takes a little while to load that. So that's me in the Cirrus. 172. Again, it takes a little while to load the videos. Great outdoors. Here's one for school when I have meetings with people. So I look good. I actually fooled my superintendent with this one. He thought that I was actually in that room. because I'm teaching remotely from home. And I was like, he's like, where are you? I was like, I'm at home. It's just the background. So, but I like to stick the 172 on there. And yeah, with Photoshop skills and video editing, I was able to do that this summer after I took my summer course. This isn't NVIDIA. This is actually XSplit VCam, but NVIDIA has something like this. The reason why I use this is because I have a gaming chair here. I don't know if you can see that now, but XSplit VCam has an option to take out the gaming chair.
Man, I better get my ass up in
And
the air.
NVIDIA
I'm
does
close to the Boston Bravo finally.
Yeah, so we're going to be going through it for down this low, but no one's online, so we're just going to treat it like non-towered, but just be careful of any air traffic. There's an American Airlines flight going into Boston right now.
Yeah, I was looking on the Betson map.
Some cockpit lighting here. It's a little dark.
What's up, boys?
What's up? How's it going?
Not bad at all, man.
Hello.
Y'all flying right now?
Yeah, I'm finishing up my Around the USA flights here, so.
I'll be
Oh,
back.
I just did something. Well, that was interesting.
Always.
All right, we are right on the coast of Seabrook there. Right there. Very Massachusetts looking. We're not there yet, though. That's New Hampshire. They got an hour and 43 minutes. An hour 44. And I said hour 44, so we'll stick with that. And now we're going to be having Gloucester, Mass. as our next checkpoint. This is north of Boston. And a very, very seaworthy place here in Massachusetts. They have a lot of fishing, commercial fishing stuff come from Gloucester. And that's right in front of us, right over here. And then Massachusetts Bay will be flying over it. Getting to the other side, which is where I'm more familiar with that area because that's right around Plymouth. So, honestly, I use a really crappy webcam. I think this company offered it to me to review. I still haven't reviewed it for the Eric DIY YouTube channel, which is how I make money from flying. But it's called a Vankyo, V-A-N-K-Y-O. It's I think it's like $50, and it does 1080p. So it's pretty good. I mean, it definitely does. The trick with me is I bought lighting, which helps with the whole lighting of the stream here. Before I was just using my LED lighting, and it kind of worked out, but not really. Now I got like real professional streaming lighting, so that was a new addition in the past 2 weeks. So, but we're working on things slowly. Been streaming since June, so it's getting better. And again, I do appreciate everyone coming out here because I think I have the most viewers I've had in a while. So that's cool. What field is that? There used to be, so maybe there's none anymore. Was it Lake Gardner, private airport? It's showing up on the sectional. It's north of Plum Island. Just another airport I want to fly to in real life sometime too. 2 Bravo 2. No, so it must be like just a long gone airport. They closed down whatchamacallit, Middleborough. I think it's called. No, it's not Middleborough. It's God. It's still on the sectional as unknown private airport, but they actually sold it, and it was like the oldest general aviation port. I think it's Marlborough Airport. They just sold it to a developer, so that kind of sucks. But it was the oldest general aviation airport in Massachusetts, and no one wanted to buy it for the airport, so they sold it to a developer. But the more airports we lose, you know. Never mind people that like end up living near airports and then complaining about the noise. I mean, what's up with that? So we have that at Plymouth. We depart 2-4, the noise abatement procedures to fly out to the power lines to avoid the mobile park on the left, but they're always complaining about planes. So forgot to enrich the mixture, but we're okay still. There we go. Some extra power there. Turn on the course here. Again, we should see Gloucester off to our left. It's going to be over here. Excuse me. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what the name is.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You need anything, just
SB
let me
Eric
know.
407. Thank you, sir, for rating the
What's
channel.
beverage service? Yeah, that's not included on this plate. Did you pay the extra fee?
That would be real world air traffic control chatter between me and my friend going into Nashville, New Hampshire. And yeah, it's a nice little joke, so I decided to use that. But thank you for the raid. It's awesome of you. Greatly appreciated. So we're now in double digits for the first time ever on Twitch. It's pretty cool. So enjoy the stay. We're finishing up my Around the USA flights here, and we're flying into my real life hometown airport, not well, hometown as in home base airport of Plymouth, Massachusetts. We're
I
slightly
want to
north
do
of Boston
barrel
right
rolls
now,
and
so.
loop-the-loops, yeah, all
Thank
that kind
you.
of stuff.
Final
We don't do
flight,
that kind of
flying up
flying
since
here.
June, so we did the whole
Dangerous,
perimeter
irresponsible.
of the United States. So.
Well, who does?
Heck flat.
And thank you for your follow, because now I think I'm 2 or 3 people
I
away
want to do
from being
barrel
50 up.
rolls and loop-the-loops.
Speak of the
yeah,
devil.
all that kind of
So.
stuff.
Really, Rob?
We don't do
That's
that kind
not
of
needed,
flying
dude.
here.
But thank you. Thank you very
Dangerous,
much.
irresponsible.
Too many lawsuits.
Well, who does?
Heck flat.
So thank you for the follows, guys. And well, I've been flying since June on these flights. Fund injection, Rob. That's for you. And that's what we're looking at here. So from Plymouth, went all the way around. Got Microsoft Flight Simulator right about here. I was flying prepared before that, and we went around the whole West Coast. And we're finishing up tonight from Bangor, Maine, all the way down to Plymouth. So, barring sim crashes or anything like that, we should be able to do this. So, we also have my good friend Chad Smith from the Virtue USA Flying Club flying this route along with me. I haven't been able to see him. He's on VAT Sim, so he's out there somewhere in front of me. But it's very hard to see, seeing that they don't have nameplates for the VAT Sim, which makes it more lifelike in one way. So it's not a bad thing. So, but again, I do appreciate the follows, guys, and Rob, thank you very much for that kind donation. I will put that to use in my real world flights there. So maybe a down payment on the flight to Ohio to come see you, huh? if it ever can happen, Rob, it's gonna happen. I just want you to know that. So, be quite the adventure for me too. Boston, Massachusetts, out there in the distance is our next checkpoint. And believe it or not, we only have about 26 minutes of flying left. This was a 2-hour and 60-minute flight or so from Bangor, Maine, and it's been very scenic. So we are now in Massachusetts, my home state, in real life. Well, I won't lie. It's a start, Rob. It's a start. It's a start. I gotta convince the wife, too, to take care of the kids for like a day or two. But I do appreciate that, sir. Really appreciate it. We'll pay it back someday. So far, I would say this is because I'm familiar with flying here in real life. And flying over Boston's going to be hopefully one heck of a view, because it always is in real life. But the whole journey as a whole, wherever I liked flying, I really like the Northwest. I like the whole West Coast. I like Florida a lot. Northeast, obviously, I fly here in real life, so I like that part. I like going to the Wright Brothers first flight airport there. That was cool. Texas is all right, so. All right, I'm going to. I'll mark that down in my
Away
spreadsheet.
from Boston, I feel like I should be starting to play some Dropkick Murphys.
You can if you want to. Fire it up. That's like a cult down here, especially with the Red Sox.
I'll bet.
But I'm gonna write that down, Rob. You have a running tab in my. You think I'm kidding? I got a whole spreadsheet with all my income for flying and how much I spend on things. So that $10 is going in that thing. But Hampton, I've heard of Hampton. 7 Bravo 3. Yep. I got yeah. That must be, it's very scenic. I'm gonna have to fly up here someday along the coast. So, Rob, if you really want to know, round trip that flight would probably cost me somewhere around $800, and that's just for the flying. And I'm underestimating that by a little bit. That's about 8 hours. So, and I can't charge you for that legally anyways, because my private pilot license, one, you could only get reimbursed for when you actually fly with me, and two, I'm only allowed to ask to not even ask. It's got to be me just flying anyways, and you can only reimburse 50% for like oil, fuel, and the rental. So, no, would I do that to you? You know, so.
I must need to turn up some sort of setting because
So that
I'm
is
trying
the
to zoom
rule.
in really far, and all I can see is like pointy little triangles in the distance.
That's interesting. I've actually got like Massachusetts Bay and everything in front of me. We are now in Class Bravo, by the way. At least I am. But Boston will be off to our right over here. Like to see the airport with Mike Don. It's off the coast. Now it's still a little far out, but Boston's over here.
And on the second layer.
Yeah, well, I better stay at your house if I fly out there. That's all I gotta say. Remember, I was a gigging musician in my 20s. I could sleep on floors real easy, Rob. I don't have a problem with that. I don't even need a sleeping bag. But we'll see, sir. If I ever buy my own plane, and obviously being a teacher, it's not that I get the summers totally up because I have to take classes sometimes, but I have to recertify this year, then I have another 5 years to get the classes in. So we'll see. There's a lot of ifs, ands, but if I can ever do it, I will.
I see somebody in front of me, something big.
Couches are like the royalty of gigging musicians right there, I'm just telling you. So one time I had a gig in New Hampshire and we played at this restaurant and it was near the, I think this is the one near the Canadian border. It was like way up near the border in New Hampshire. And they promised us lodging. So we're like, all right, cool, we'll do the gig. You know, we were an original rock band trying to make it. So we did covers, but we also did our original stuff. And yeah, the owner of the place rented out an apartment to this waitress that basically just couldn't afford anything, so he let her just stay there while she worked for him. And yeah, he kicked her out of her apartment, and we like slept in her apartment. How weird is that? I remember that was a little weird. She's like, "Oh, that's okay. My boyfriend's downstairs. I'm just gonna room." Oh,
Is
okay.
there a default screenshot button in 2020?
I use the Windows key with print screen, and it'll flash the screen if it works for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little older now, and I get little aches and pains in my 40s, but, you know, I can do the couch. But, alright, as we get closer to Boston here, and I'm deviating a little bit more to the west here to try to get a good view on Boston. And this is the city where I went to college, so I'm very familiar with it. I've been going here since I was very young with my great aunt and stuff. But it's always a welcome sight when flying in real life. Usually I'm not this low. I've flown over Class Bravo twice. Got some really good pictures of Boston. In fact, if you watch the Nashua, New Hampshire video on the Eric Flight YouTube channel, the real world flight videos, you can kind of see me and my friend going over Class Bravo. It's pretty cool. And I still got 3 more videos to edit, current ones. So I hope to get another one up in the next week. So, but you can check out any real world flight videos on there. I also archive all these streams on there as well. So if you really want to watch 50-something hours of me flying around the United States, it's on there. It's a whole playlist for the virtual around the USA flights. So, but feel free if you're want to check that out. And on the Eric Flight YouTube channel, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I can actually monetize some videos and make more money to fly more places like Rob's. So that will give me more funds to do flights like that. So I just hit the announce your light key. Did you see that? So we're good. I thought there was an emergency there for a second. But we are currently in the Class Bravo here from Boston. And I'm really trying to get you some good views of it. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. I don't think high school hockey helped. I'm starting to learn that now in my 40s. So. Still exercising and trying my best to stay as fit as I can, so. Boston's more out here, I think. I'm looking for it in my GPS here. Yeah, so we're a little bit further south still, but I'm trying to go a little bit more to the west for everyone to see Boston. See, I'm off the direct route, but again, that's to get a good look here. So, and ground speed's 97 knots, so it didn't climb up that much. So the winds have been working against us tonight, but I did calculate that before doing the flight. I have my Avere app, and I do the E6B and calculate winds aloft and all that stuff. So I had an idea this was going to be a long flight. So, for me at least, but that's why we did it tonight. So. Alright. Taking a picture of that. That's a nice little screenshot right there. If anything, for that name, Poison Kinks, number 9680, that's an awesome music. What? It's all good. But yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to take the Cirrus up in the simulator in the next couple of streaming flights for the Eric Flight channel. And honestly, it all started with just real world flight videos, and then I started streaming in June. So, but all right, hey Sky Maine, thank you very much, and I appreciate you hanging out this far. Maybe someday we can fly together on the sim. So join in on Twitch, but also I have a Discord. You can join that, and I kind of post things there when I fly. So again, the Discord is, let's see, that way. There you go, right up there with my little face on it. So, but yeah, join that. You can come flying with us. So, be a fun time. Could relive some of your flights from when you were a private pilot.
I had my
Actually, you
photo
still
up,
are, by the way.
headed to Plymouth.
But I'm just saying we could do some flights together that you've done before, and it'd be kind of cool to do that. You got a good shot of the city yet?
I did, yeah.
We're a little far out. Oh, there it is. It's out there. That's Boston right over there. Not used to looking at it from this angle, but there's downtown Boston. John Hancock building out there. And as we get closer, we'll get some more looks at it.
Stuff for X-Plane for Boston to look better, and man, this just blew it right out of the water.
You know, I tried making some scenery for Boston for FS 2004, and that worked in preparing FSX, but it was a frame rate killer. It was just really hard to get the night lighting and everything on it, and it just ate up a lot, so.
Yep, the one I had was a pretty bad frame rate killer too, and I mean, like I said, in comparison now, it's nothing.
All right, Rob. Well, thank you very much, sir. And I'm serious. I'm gonna put that in your flying fun there, and we'll see what I can do in the future if that ever happens. Okay. And if you are going to Mars, let us know, because then I'm gonna definitely try and make it out there and at least give you one flight on this Earth before you go to Mars. But we're just about done. I'm just trying to get a good view of Boston before we head more south. And we are in the inner ring of Boston Class Bravo airspace here. And then making our way to Plymouth. Have a good one, Rob. Thank you so much, bud. There you go. Better view. It's all loading right there. This right here is where the Celtics and the Boston Bruins play. That's Food Center. Actually, it's TD Garden now. Plus Food Center first. Over here you have Boston Logan, which is the big international airport around me, other than Providence, Rhode Island, which is not international but wants to be. And Back Bay, that's what we call this area over here. And the old historic downtown is over here. So you can see Paul Revere's house and stuff like that still. And my old college is actually towards John Hancock. Look past that. I went to the Berklee College of Music out there. Harvard and MIT are up here. Boston University more down over here. And Boston College is more out in the distance over here. So this is Boston. They don't have a Boston Logan yet, payware or anything like that, but well, it's okay. It's not the best, but it does the job. And that's what kind of looked like in the plane over here. It's one more ahead actually, but definitely better than prepared at least. All right, that is real world traffic. That ASA 736. I like to get flight radar 24 and put that in there and find out what that is in real life. But I left the real life traffic on. Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. ASA 736. Let's see what that is. Again, the app is Flight Radar 24, and I use the free version. That's Alaska Airlines from Seattle to Boston. And trying to figure out what it is. A 737-900. It's a pretty big plane, so that's pretty cool. I'm using online air traffic control at VATSIM, but no one is currently on, so this is what the map looks like. There I am, Chad's over here, and there's Plymouth, but that's what I use for online air traffic control, and if anyone was on, I use voice over the headset, so. VATSIM, check it out. And if you're gonna do VATSIM, maybe think about joining the Virtual USA Flying Club, because we actually do a lot of events on VATSIM for general aviation, so. But it is free to join VATSIM. It's made up of volunteer air traffic controllers and stuff like that. And it's pretty good. You know, it does the job. But it all depends on when people are on and stuff. So, well, it really depends. Boston Center actually closed down right as we started the flight to Bangor. So look, there's the FedEx right there, JetBlue. That's all real-world flights. Downtown Boston. So that's an awesome picture right there. I'll take a picture of that. Well, the only way they're going to do that is by having volunteers. I am not air traffic controller material. I just like flying, so I just couldn't sit in front of a monitor directing people. But, you know, you have other options. But I go all the way back to what was called SATCO, which was the online air traffic control before VATSIM. So we're just about to get to Plymouth, but yeah, feel free to. If you want to jump on, I'd say maybe leave Norwood, Kilo Oscar Whiskey Delta, or you could leave Mansfield, 1 Bravo 9. But oh, okay, I get what you're saying. You meant VATSIM, okay. But yeah, feel free to in the future. But we do what we can. It's, you know, if you get a nice event like I'm doing a Thanksgiving fly-in on the 22nd, the Virtual USA Flying Club, but it's gonna be on VATSIM, and I'm trying to get a controller to cover for that. We try to always have air traffic control out there. Boston out there, you got the Prudential Building, and Fenway would be out here where the Red Sox play. So, yep. Look at that site, huh? JetBlue in there. Pilot Edge, I've heard really good things about that. More West Coast than East Coast, though. And obviously, it's something that you do pay for eventually. But the air traffic control you get is, I believe, all real-life air traffic control people. And again, it's for the West Coast. It's not really for the East Coast yet. And then they also have IVAO, but from what I understand, and I haven't flown on that in a while, that's more based out of Europe, even though they do have North American air traffic control. You get more Europeans on there than anything. So that's typically what it is for that. And then there's a new one coming out. I forget what it's called. Give me a second. I think I have it on Discord. Or maybe not. Give me a second. Maybe not. Oh yes, PosCon. And they're coming out with their network soon. You have to be kind of invited right now because they're kind of like testing it out. But the cool thing about them is they're going to use the real world CTAF and Unicoms and stuff like that. So, but from what I've seen, yeah, it's really good on Pilot Edge for the West Coast.
Sucks.
I'm just kind of cheap, so I don't want to pay anything. So it's just me. I mean, again, I've been doing SATCO and VATSIM. What sucks, by the way?
Oh, I just went to go take my dogs outside for a minute. When I got out there, the whole entire ground is covered in snow.
That sucks.
It does.
I just cleaned up leaves the other day with my wife, so God only knows when snow happens. All right, we're gonna turn directly to Plymouth now, which is south of Boston.
I'm not ready for it.
We're getting very close to what I'm familiar with flying in real life. This is my stomping ground south of Boston, so But like VATSIM can be useful again if it's staffed, you know. And on a Monday night at 11:30, you know, people have to work. But on the weekends, it's pretty good, you know. It all depends on when you're flying and what you're flying. It's obviously loading some scenery right now because my frame rate went down to 9. And
I want to do barrel rolls
it
and
will,
loop-the-loops.
well, thank you very
all that
much,
kind of
Culty
stuff.
Vader.
We
I like the
don't do that
name.
kind of flying here.
That's awesome.
It's dangerous and irresponsible.
And we're going to start a slight
Well, who
descent
does?
here, so we're going to 2,100
flat.
RPMs or so. Start a cruising descent down from Plymouth. And that's kind of cool. You can see like the sunlight through the clouds. Very lifelike. Cultivator. Thank you very much for following. But it is what it is. You know, it's pros and cons to everything. I know Sim Caesar, who's on Twitch, she actually uses Pilot Edge a lot. And but that's because he flies a lot of West Coast flights, so. But we've come a long way. I mean, I've been simming since I was 18. I'm not going to give an age right now, but I've been doing it for about
2-4.
I gotta check the weather still. I went more towards Boston for a second to get a good view. So I'm kind of north still. I'm just about out of the inner ring in class Bravo, and I'm descending. Pattern altitude is 1,150, and I'll check the weather in a second.
Weather at the airport, I think we're going to be going for 1-5, honestly.
Yep, turn that up.
Oop, never mind, I was reading an old one. Wind 240 at 7.
What you got for winds?
247 knots.
So runway 24. Yep. It's doing that thing again. Really? Seriously, man. Killing me.
So what do you normally do coming this way? Fly over, above it, and do your teardrop?
Yeah, I do a teardrop. I go over the airport, or I'd even like deviate to the west of it, fly around to the south, and then do a 45 left downwind, runway 24.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna stick like 1,500 feet above and fly over and then come down for the teardrop.
That works too. Alright. Did it? Yes, I think it did. I know the instrument portion, the small instrument portion we have to do, other than the feelings that you can't practice. 1,150. It helps you. Like right now, I was doing all this cross-country dead reckoning with timing and checkpoints, and then I also got thrown out of the window when I went closer to Boston, and I know where I am. So Plymouth's actually out in the distance. You can kind of see it there. But it helps you prepare for cross-country timing, dead reckoning, instruments. Honestly, like I went up there and like I could read everything. That wasn't a problem. And that was first lesson. So, but yeah, I think it pays off. I know a lot of people say that it doesn't, but I think it does in certain ways. You have to get, it's definitely a lot different in real life where you can feel the forces, which is also another part of the instrument. Like they'll put the hood on and he'll do unusual attitude of the plane. He'll just like turn it left and right and then bank it up and down. Then he'll leave it banked. They're like, all right, open your eyes. And you open it up. And you're looking at your instruments and you have to correct for whatever the plane is in. So that you can't do in the sims. You have to have the feeling of it. But yeah, it definitely does a lot. I know when I fly the 172N at my flight school now, I am a lot more familiar with the 530 from doing it in the sim. Thanks to Microsoft Flight Simulator, letting you touch all the buttons here. Is it perfect? No. Is the real life one a little different? Yeah. But it gets you the general, like this knob does this knob does that, you know. So it does help, yeah. In certain ways. But hopefully when I get working on my instrument reading, it'll help me with that a lot more. And that's what I've heard is that a lot of people can do a lot more with that. So, if that makes sense. Which does make sense because, you know, we got
Plymouth traffic 2289er Zulu is 4 miles to the north.
But we are over Rockland. It's actually a real life TFR right around here, so that's not showing up. But they have some ordnance, like fireworks or something over here, and so there's always a TFR. Full rich on the mixture because we're going below 3,000. We're descending for 1,150 to join the left. Downwind 45 for runway 24. Plymouth up ahead, but we're still got to get there. So, but this is what it looks like. Seeing that Thanksgiving's almost upon us here. This is where the Mayflower landed out here, and then they took a little schooner boat in, and they settled here in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Pilgrims, that is. And that would be right around here in downtown Plymouth. And that's what's probably most popular for. And the airport is a little outside of the city. But this is the busiest general aviation airport in Massachusetts, so it's a good place to get familiar with pattern work and stuff, because you're going to have a lot of it sometimes, and other times you're not. We also have the state police helicopters come in here, and med flight as well, so you get used to rotorcraft traffic, and has a little bit of everything, so it can be rather hazardous at times. Someday I'm going to make a highlight reel of my roll of flights on things that were hairy. So I have at least 3 or 4 things already to add to that reel. So, but we're gonna wait a little while longer until I at least get 10 or something. Hopefully, you know, not, but maybe 5. I'll go with 5 because I do not like hairy situations, and luckily my training has paid off well. So we got a real world JetBlue flight up there, JetBlue 923 DK Flyer 1. I actually recognize that name. He's been here for a couple times on Microsoft Flight Simulator in this area. So one time on VAT Sim, someone had the real life call sign of the plane I took my check ride in and did my training in, so that was cool. So, and I know that some people actually at the airport, I had one person come to me like, "Oh, you're that guy, Eric Flight. Yeah, you do those videos." So that was kind of cool. So, but we were supposed to fly together. He still hasn't contacted me back because he's a private pilot, and we were gonna go 50-50 on some flights, but waiting to hear back from him. So if you're hearing me, email me back. All right, 2,000 feet. We're gonna stay right about here for now. So we're gonna increase the RPMs. We're gonna deviate to the southern part of the airport. Again, set up a left downward for runway 24. And runway 24 is probably the main runway at the airport. It's pretty much the one that's the favorite if the winds are calm. So, but in real life, I live out here in Dayton, Massachusetts. So, kind of shows you, yeah, it's a little further distance, but Taunton Municipal, which is the closest airport to me, does not have a flight school or rentals at all. But I know some of the pilots that fly in there. So. But I do not own a plane. I just rent, and because I have a nice variety to rent from, I usually rent the 152, which is what I trained in the 172. And I hope to take some friends up Saturday night. We're gonna go for a little evening flight to check out the sights at night out here. So it should be a good time. Plymouth coming up. Over here, there's a nice airport around here. See that right there? That is called Brandland. That is a short field airport here in Whitman, Massachusetts. You always look for this little river right here, this little islands here in the middle of Bristol Ponds. It's over there, but I'll be landing there sometime to practice some short field. Takes off and landing sometime.
Plymouth traffic 800, entering westbound.
Plymouth is out there, so that's our final destination, everybody. After about, I would estimate 60 hours of flying on and off on the sim around the United States perimeter. Again, this right here is where we've flown all the way around. We're ending it tonight here back at Plymouth, Massachusetts. So don't mess it up now, Eric, because that would be drastic and terrible. Here's my favorite visual of all time. That's Assawamsett Pond, main visual out here around Plymouth and New Bedford. Good restaurant in New Bedford. It's the airport grill. And Taunton is this way. Again, I'm out here. This is the Taunton River. I'm on the other side of that. I'm like right over here. So that's where I am right now. Don't come stalking me now. And out there is my home state of Rhode Island, where I grew up. And if you know Providence, TF Green Airport, that's probably the airport you're going to know if you know anything about Rhode Island. I lived about 25 minutes north of that, so depending on traffic. But what you're hearing on the radio there is Chad Smith of the Retro USA Flying Club, a member with me, and he decided to fly with me tonight on this flight, so I really appreciate that. And Plymouth Airport. There's the windmills. You can kind of see those as a visual. And I don't know if it's loading that. Well, actually, it's right over here. Come on, where'd you go? It's out there, actually. Where'd you go? Oh my God, this is. I feel like an idiot now. Oh, it's out there. So that's runway 6, 24's on the other. Actually, I'm sorry. That's runway 15. This is runway 6. We're going 24 on this side. So we're gonna swing around, join the downwind, land. It's all good. All right. Plymouth traffic, Cessna Foxtrot, 7 miles to the northwest. We're gonna transition to the south of the airport and then set up a 45 left downwind for runway 24, Plymouth. That was a lot of talking, but in real life you do want to report where you are, so I'd probably just say, 7 miles to the northwest. That way people would know. But it gets pretty busy here sometimes. So it's right out there. All these things are cranberry bogs. That's what Plymouth is really popular for. So if you eat cranberries from, God, what's the name of the company? It'll come back to me. It'll come up to me in some sec, but this is where they get a massive amount of their cranberries from. For cranberry juice and stuff. So. Alright, we're to the south now. So I'm gonna swing out a little to the right. We already started our descent down to 1,150. I'm gonna trim down a little bit, get to 500 feet per minute descent. Again, Assawamsett Pond in the distance, and Plymouth is right over there. That is my hometown airport. Alright. Well, it's been a lot of flying tonight. Been up in the air for about 2 hours and 18 minutes, so flight planning was almost done. And we are turning towards
Plymouth traffic, 2289 Zulu, clear of runway 24, Plymouth traffic.
How'd it go?
Good. On the ground over at Alpha 1 Flight Services.
That's my flight school.
Nice.
They have a pretty good fleet there. They have some Pipers and Cessnas and stuff. So and honestly, their rates are pretty good, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the wind was perfect. It was a pretty damn good landing. Came in really fast with this thing, it seems like. I was only doing maybe like 60, but I didn't check my approach speeds on what I should be at, and man, it floated like 3/4 of the runway.
I find that most of the planes in this flight simulator float a lot, no matter what it is.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense then.
Alright.
Come in a little slower next time, see what happens.
But even when like I flare, I'll be like 9 feet off, and the thing will just keep floating down the runway. And while there is some float, in real life it's not that much.
Yeah, with this plane especially too, I got a problem with even once I get on the ground after the flare, the front end just stays up on the ground until I kind of manually bring it down.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? I got a little disoriented. This is runway 6.
Almost
That's
looks like a fighter
runway
jet
33,
floating across
so
the
we gotta
runway.
go more to the south here. I thought that was 33, but it's not. So we're still good, and we still gotta descend down anyway, so we're all right. Plymouth traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, 3 miles to the west, transitioning to the south. Plymouth traffic. But yeah, that's Alpha 1's down here. That's where Chad is. And that is the flight school that I got my private at, and also where I rent from to this day. So, like I said, they got a pretty good fleet there. There's Mike Goulian Aviation right over here in this hangar. He actually rents out and trains on Cirrus aircraft, so I might do that someday, just to say I've flown a Cirrus. So, all right, let's head out a little bit to the right. We'll do a teardrop in to the left downwind here for runway 45. It's gonna be right about there. That's about where we are for our downwind, and the runway will be about halfway up our wing strut. So it's all visual at this point. I think I had an altimeter setting, did I?
Kilo Golf Hotel Golf automated weather observation 1900.
Well, that's not it.
Zulu.
Come on now. You're supposed to be Papa Yankee Mike.
Kilo Kilo Golf Hotel Golf automated weather
Well,
option.
that has got to be Rex Weather Force here. So, and they're giving me Plymouth here, so I'll just go with this. 29 or 9 or 3. Boy, that is terrible. That would help, huh? Thank God it's going to go up and not down. Whew. All right. See where we are in the relation to the airport here. There it is. All right, we're going to take a left turn here. Set up a 45 left downwind runway 24. My favorite runway, I think, to land at Plymouth. 3-3 could be a little more brutal because you have trees around you and the wind will go right over it. So just as you get down to the runway, you'll have some winds kind of knock you around just a little bit. 2-4 has some trees, but they're a little further out, so it doesn't affect you as much. And 1-5 is kind of interesting because it has like a little hump in it where it crosses the taxiway going to 2-4. So we usually don't land towards numbers on that. We go a little bit to the 1,000 foot marker or so. But little quirky things like that. Runway 6 is pretty nice too. Last time I got current on my night landings a couple weeks ago, I did runway 6 the whole time. Again, that video should be coming up in a couple weeks, probably about 3-4 weeks. It takes a long time to edit videos, so.
Exactly 2 hours.
I have almost 2.5 hours, but yeah, you're about right. Plymouth traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, 3 miles out on the 45, left downwind, runway 24, Plymouth. Just want to get down to 1,150.
Yeah, I
so
guess it was
that's
almost
good.
kind of 2.5. I don't know why VATSIM says it was exactly 2.
That headwind didn't help us, so.
No, it did not.
But I was telling Mike that if we took a flight from his hometown airport to Plymouth here, it would have taken me 59 minutes to make it there with the winds last night.
That's nuts.
That's awesome. From New York to here, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we are in the pattern. We're turning down.
Yeah, I did one of my
pretty soon.
Canada flights, and it was like a 52.
I should check to make sure my left
Not
was clear, which it
freaking
is.
tailwind. It was crazy.
It's amazing how powerful winds can really be.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Why am I crabbing a little bit? I don't know. Plymouth traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, left downwind, runway 24, full stop, Plymouth. There we go. Now we're beaming the numbers there on 3-3, so that's about where we want to start doing our descent here. So 1,700 on the RPMs. We're gonna level it off, let's bleed off speed till we're 110 knots, put 10 degrees in, and angle down. And then my visual, seeing that from around here, is this. I'm gonna fly right in between those two ponds on my base, so I should be at about 80 knots. And that's where this is unrealistic, so I just kind of level off till it's 80, and then I slightly drop it. So there we go. 1,700, thank you. So it's a combination of power control and knowing where you should be at air speeds here. We're right here, in the middle of these two ponds. That's what I aim for on the base runway 24. Now we're gonna go down to 1,500.
I should see you by now, and I still don't.
Plymouth traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, left base, runway 24, Plymouth. And another 10 degrees of flaps. We should go down to about 75, 70. Yes, that was still doing a descent here, so this is pretty good. Should be about 500 feet per minute or so. And we're gonna turn final. Turning final now. Should be about 700 feet, which we are. Again, these are all things that you get used to just by doing it in real life. A little left rudder
Just
there.
started to see your nav lights flashing.
There you go. That's lifelike then. It's about here where you see it.
Nice.
Plymouth traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, final for runway 24, full stop, Plymouth. All right, we're gonna wait till we get a little
I just
closer.
realized I forgot to call out final.
It doesn't matter. You only call it out if you can. I see you right now. Full flaps. Okay, we should get down to about 65. We're way over speed. Just I'll pull the throttle out. For some reason, it does that a lot too in the sim. So, but we want to land at like 65. You can see with those flaps, it bleeds it right off. And got a little wind there from.
Be
almost down the
advised,
runway.
there is a service truck on the runway.
Whoa, that wind's kicking us around. That's from the trees. All right, and flaring. Let's go. So Plymouth kind of looks like this in real life. Some buildings, obviously, that it's there, but they're not that generic. All right, that was a good landing. Flaps up. And a little aerodynamic braking by pulling back on the yoke slightly.
Nice.
Ruddering. That wasn't bad. There's a little bit of wind at the end there. Okay, usually it doesn't go this far.
Yeah, picked up a hair.
There we go. And welcome to my home airport of Plymouth, Massachusetts. That's real life home. And we don't have fuel down here. They have actually have a fuel truck that comes here. Let's stop right here. Come on, stop. All right. Plymouth traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, clear for runway 24, Plymouth. Okay, flaps up, already got it. Strobes off. Landing light, I'm leaving it on. Taxi light, I'll leave on. Pitot heat off, I didn't use it. Mixture is required. Good. Trim set for takeoff, we're good. Okay,
I
and
think my internet might be on the way out.
alright, well, I'm just parking this thing. I don't see you, though. Are you in that purple plane that's moving all around? I'm gonna go right near these fuel tanks over here that aren't here in real life. But this is right about where my flight school is in the real world, and we would park parallel to these buildings, so it's not really a life flight. And
Got here just in time.
there you go. All right, and that's where we're parking, people, because that's how we do it in real life. We actually get the tow bar out and push it back. But all right, securing ELT, verify silent, avionics off, all lights except for beacon because the engine's still on. Mixture full lean. And it's gonna give me this weird menu.
Yep, my internet's on its
Quite
way out. It's gonna die here any second, so I'm gonna take
All right,
off.
man.
It has
All
been
right.
fun.
You too. Thanks for joining me, man. Mags off.
No problem.
Master
I'll
off. Lights
probably
off.
see you at your event next. We'll talk to you later, man. Have a good night.
Cool. All right, man. Thanks a lot. We'll see ya. All right. So shall we take a little drone tour like I usually do? But this is the end, people. The end of the Round the USA flights for at least this year. Welcome to Plymouth, Massachusetts. Again, my real world home base here. They didn't really get the parking that right. We usually park this way and not that way, but that's okay. So this is the gate I usually go through. We drive right through here. Here's the gate. And my flight school would be this building right here. So actually I probably would park here in the real world, but that's cool. You can see it has nice crosswind landings. I really like that, this airport. And yeah, downtown Plymouth's this way. Try to go a little faster here. And again, this is where the Pilgrims landed and lived back in the day. Let's see. Check ride was out over here at Plymouth Harbor here. This is where I had my simulated engine fire that he made me do. And I said I was going to land at the beach over here on the edge here. That was a correct answer, or the sandbar. I also told him that too. There's two places I could have possibly gone. So, but downtown Plymouth is over here. Over here's the historic place. You see this little pier right here? This has the Mayflower 2, which is a replica of the Mayflower. I think it's on this port. And then the original oldest road in America should be, I think this one right here. Yeah, this is Leyden Street. This is where the Pilgrims actually lived. They made, you know, obviously they didn't look like this. And then this is the burial ground where some of the Pilgrims are buried, including this. This is where they hid bodies away from the Native Americans because they didn't want them to know that they were losing lots. Over here, this is actually a little structure in real life. This is where you have Plymouth Rock, and that's supposedly the first rock that the Pilgrims stepped on at the place where they landed. So the Mayflower landed over here, and they took a little boat in, and they lived, again, on this street. This is the old church and meeting fort, and then they had houses on this road. And then, the interesting thing is if you go over here, I don't know if I can spot this, but they actually have a recreation of it. I don't know if you're going to see it. I think this is it right here. Might not be. There's a place called Plymouth Plantation up here on the coast. I think this is it right here. Maybe not. Well, it's over here somewhere. This might be it actually over here. And they recreated the whole Plymouth Village here. And they also have like a, yeah, this is Plymouth Plantation. So, and they have a Wampanoag Village, which is the Native Americans that were here. So when you're celebrating Thanksgiving, this is where the original one took place. And That's Plymouth, Massachusetts. And I'm going to see if we can fly out on the drone at least to my real life home here in Dayton, Massachusetts. And great visual again is Assawamsett Pond. This huge pond here, which is heading west. And then the closest general aviation airport that I would probably fly out of if I owned a plane would be Taunton. I actually used to live right next to it back in the day, but that's out here, right near the highway. If I could find it, that is. Where'd you go? I think I went a little too far. Yeah, I did. So I used to live right around here. There's the mall, right? That's Assawamsett. There it is. There's Taunton. So that's Taunton Municipal. I don't know if I'd ever own a plane and park it there, though, because honestly, it's never this full. And I've heard that the management is pretty bad there for the airport. So I've heard horror stories. But we follow this route here. I actually took a bike ride there from my house, like 20-something miles for a challenge. This is the Taunton River. This is when I know where I'm getting into my neighborhood. There should be a body of water that I look for when I fly. Actually over here. You see that right here? So I look for that in my house. These are power lines in the middle of the woods, and my house is... I'm not going to show you definitely, but I'm going to show you the area. My house is located somewhere around, not there because I don't want to swim in the pool. Okay, where's that lake again? Okay, that's there. The problem is I'm in the middle of the woods, so it makes it hard to find. I don't know if I can find it. We'll see. Now I'm upside down with the drone. But anyways, this is Dayton, Massachusetts, and this is where I live. I'll make it as easy as that. And what perfect place to end this around the USA flights rather than looking at me on the simulator right now. So I'm somewhere here. I'm not going to let you know the exact place. And the Taunton River's there. We got New Bedford out there. Again, Assawamsett Pond. Plymouth, Massachusetts out there. And my hometown state of Rhode Island out here. I might as well show you a little Rhode Island. I grew up north of Providence, which is over here. This is Class Charlie airspace, by the way. But it's always fun flying over Providence. And that is downtown Providence. I did quite a lot of gigging back in the day in original rock bands here. TF Green Airport down there. That's what probably most people would know if you don't come from Rhode Island. You can check that up on the sectional. And my old house is actually over here. I used to live in this neighborhood over here. So it's kind of cool to see what you see in real life when you fly. And honestly, this is a very good representation because I often fly over Providence when going to Connecticut destinations and stuff in real life. So this looks very, very good and very lifelike. And without further ado, let's go back to the plane. There we go. We end this long, exhausting trip around the United States. Again, we did the whole country around the perimeter. Left from Plymouth, went all the way down the coast, around Florida, around Texas to Arizona, the West Coast, and all the north just to make it back around the Great Lakes, and from Bangor to Plymouth today. And we did it. We did it for the second year in a row. We've done an around the USA flight. This time around the perimeter. Last year was more direct, but we did it, and that's what matters. And stuff like this makes me happy because I use real world navigation skills and everything, and it just makes me feel good that I have this knowledge and that I can actually do stuff like this, even if it's not in real life because it's cost prohibitive. But yeah, I just want to say thanks. Thank you so much. I started streaming right when I started these flights this year. I honestly didn't think much of streaming before all this, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fly it anyway, so let me do it. Let me share something with my viewers on my YouTube channel. But even Twitch has been very welcoming, and I appreciate that with everything that I've done here. And it's always fun to talk to people rather than just fly solo and not really do much of anything. So I want to thank everyone that's flown with me on these flights, or that's followed me on Twitch, or that followed me on YouTube, and I hope that you continue to do so. We are so close to 50 followers on Twitch, honestly, that I'll probably get to associate level and be able to do more interactive stuff with you. And I'll keep the Eric Flight channel going on YouTube. That's my real passion, is just to document my real world flights and stuff and spread some knowledge to people out there, whether it be in sim flying or real world flying. But this has been a really good experience, and I dare say I'm probably going to do it for a third year in a row. We'll probably start it sometime in June. So be on the lookout. We're not going to do the perimeter again. We're going to have to come up with another way of doing it. But we'll see what we can do, and we'll go from there. But I'm going to sign off here because it's almost midnight, and I do have to work tomorrow. But I appreciate all the support. Thank you very much. Remember to follow on Twitch. And remember also to check out the Eric Flight channel on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. The more followers, the more subscribers I get, the more I can do. Whether it be flying in the real world, because I can monetize videos on YouTube and make more money towards flying. Or on Twitch, where I can offer you a more interactive presentation on the streaming. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I hope you enjoyed. If you want to check out any of the other Around the USA flights, they're all archived on the Eric Flight YouTube channel. It's under a playlist called Around the USA Flights Simulator or something like that. Click that, do it, go in order. There's like at least 50 something hours of flying around the United States. You can check it out and relive the experience. Don't do it all in one day though, because you can't. It's impossible. And other than that, have a great night. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the future.